Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Hey, bitches. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 832 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Great to see everybody. Great to see the board. I guess it's all right seeing you too. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Breaking news.
Yeah.
My hand is fixed.
Look at you. It must have been all that icing that you were icing it down all week on the show.
Yes. Yeah. So we got that. I think that should be the main focus of the show. That was the victory last night.
I do got one. I got one controversy, Mike, that I do have to tackle here on the show. It's been Derpy's been just Mr. Controversy lately.
Yes,
of course, last week with the wardrobe malfunction. This morning, apparently, he's changing his picks. Please explain this to me. Just we're not going to take all morning, but just enough so I can understand what's going on.
Yeah, we're all competing against each other in the picks, for fun. But on the show, too, he and I got the competition going on, and the picks we make on air should match up to what we have going on CBS. I noticed in the group chat last night when I woke up, he's like, Derpy's like, good thing I picked the Bengals in my CBS pick.
I thought that was odd that he said that because I didn't.
Before the show, I went back and something's eating at me, and I go and look. He predicted the Steelers 31-18 over the Bengals.
And that was
on the show
here,
doing our official picks, and that should match up with his CBS, and he cheated.
And he took the Bengals in his CBS.
He after I picked the Bengals, he goes back through and picks the Bengals.
Well, I don't know. Is there anything against that? I don't know if you could make your picks different. I just assume, right?
I don't know. I just assume we had a gentleman's agreement. What we say on air is our picks on the CBS pick 'em. I just think you and Finch, or at least between me and Derpy, because we got that competition going on.
I think this, since it's not really been discussed, there's never been an issue. We should just take this as the time to let Derpy know that this is the way we're going to do it, or we'll change it and do it the other way. But if we change it and something happens again, then we could kind of attack him. But you know what? Whatever. I didn't know that was this was against the rules or whatnot. So we could use it as an opportunity to tell Derpy. But again, I don't entirely. We should be able to attack him. I don't know. That's just my opinion. What do you think?
No, I'm attacking him. I feel like I was Jalen Ramsey and he was Jamar Chase pushing off my face to get a touchdown.
All
And
right.
I felt abused and used,
So
and
it's
not in
safe
a
to
fun
say
way.
you felt raw dogged.
I did feel raw dogged.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's great to be back. It's Friday. We're all alive, right? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Pittsburgh Steelers, apparently they played a game last night on Thursday Night Football. It was another Thursday night special, if you will. A Thursday night raw dogging, if you will. Apparently we're living in our fears. There's a reason. There must have been a reason why our fearless leader went after the Browns for making this trade. And you know what? Rightfully so. Because if we would have played Jake Browning, I think this game would have been a lot different. However, Joe Flacco, as stated after the game, he just knows how to beat us. We didn't show them anything new. And I got a couple of theories about this going into today's show. So we'll get into that and a lot more. But I do want to say good morning to everybody on the board on this Friday. I really wish it was a victory Friday for everybody. I thought it was going to be. But you know what, Mike? Now we have 10 days. We have 10 days to think about this and get prepared for Green Bay, and we'll do so. And it's just, the weekend's going to be long now. We have to sit around and watch other football teams play all weekend. And after taking this loss the way that we did, so there's a lot of questions, Mike. And again, that's just more time that we're going to have to wonder, is this going to be a situation that gets fixed? Because the two losses we had were the same way. Our defense couldn't stop anything.
Yeah.
On their heels all night, just playing reaction and not imposing any kind of will. Early on, you get a little bit of pressure, but come on, the guy was getting it out fast. As Mr. Tommy's saying right on the board right now, it says 2.2 second release. And you have to say, why was Smiles Carrot so successful against us last week? It didn't make sense. Our offensive line isn't great. And Smiles Garrett put up zeros. And that's what it is. These quarterbacks are getting the ball out real fast. And apparently when you're older and your game starts to, go over, it's getting, it's on a decline, I guess you could say. I guess this is one of the easiest ways to be successful. And the Bengals proved it last night, Mike, because, again, they played the highest paid defense, a defense that was built to stop this offense in particular. Yeah. I think even more of a notch up by Joe Burrow. But Joe Flacco controversially comes over from Cleveland during the week, doesn't even know the playbook. He does not even know the entire playbook. He knows bits and pieces, but again, he's a smart enough veteran. And I think that right there, those words are the key, because who methodically runs up and down the field on us every time we play him? It's smart veteran quarterbacks. Tom Brady did it to us for 2 decades. And you're seeing the same thing now. So was Terrell Austin to blame? Was Coach Tomlin to blame? Was his defense to blame? But again, I don't think that it's any different than the way we played Miles Garrett last week. I think that's why the results were the way that they come out. Again, I'm going to be honest with you. I think 32-31 is an awfully generous score by the way that we played football last night. Most of the scoring coming in the second half. So we will get into that and a lot more, guys. But I do want to say good morning to the wonderful, terrible board on the Two Dumb Yinzers show. People talk about you. I'm going to be honest. When I talk to people, they talk about how entertained and how knowledgeable that the terrible board is here on the show. And I do want to give you all the credit for that, guys. You guys certainly come in and do your thing, and you never let anybody down. So congratulations. Let's enjoy that victory on this Friday, guys. Heading into week 8 as the Steelers and Bengals kicked it off last night on the Thursday night special raw dogging. Let's get to the board, Mike. I don't want to miss anybody today. I'm very interested to see what people have to say about I avoided the media entirely because I have my opinion, and then I want to see what the board has to say. That's what matters. That's what the fans talk about. Those are the fans' words in the fans of the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, and I want to know what they have to say straight from their mouths. The media, you know what they do. So let's get to it. We don't have to wait any longer. I do want to say good morning to John, my man, Big John Stud, middle name Mud, coming in first this morning, leading off. Says this. Once again, the Steelers showed me who they are and reminded me of why I have no confidence in the team. They are still on my pretenders list. Is it possible that the blueprint for beating the Steelers has been exposed? Is it possible that the way that we got beat both times was the same exact way and the defense just went backwards all night, with the exception of 2 early sacks. Besides for that, they were on their heels all night. All night. They literally made no plays after that. They were on their heels. They were reacting. And Cincinnati, the Bengals, with a bad O-line and a terrible defense, came and imposed their will. I'm not going to say much bad about our offense. We'll get into the offense later. I think there's a lot of good things to say about the offense. However, the defense really shit the bed in this game. So many things to talk about in this episode. Let me move on here. Tortilla Jackson, my man, how you doing, brother? Out in Cali. Tortilla says, yes, we played bad, but we also had to play with our hands tied. These refs in all sports are making watching sports predictable and unwatchable. Need to pull a longest yard. Phil the Steel says, what's up, Yinzers? What's up, brother? Always great seeing Phil down in Texas. Superstar on the terrible board. Corey, my man, what's up? Corey Beavers, he says, I hated being right about the 34 Thursday thing. I'm not right often, but when I am, I don't want to be. I hear you.
Right, Corey. So we're blaming Corey for this loss.
Tortilla says that interception against DK was BS. Remember when Ramsey got that fumble, but the running back was out of bounds? But when DK is out of bounds, touching the damn player, it's still in bounds. Tortilla follows that up by saying, anytime we made a play, I can't act like those calls weren't biased. Refs raw dogged us is what Tortilla's trying to get at. Like he said, the refs raw dogged us.
There are questionable calls, but you got to be able to overcome them. It sucks, and it did feel like it was one-sided, but you still got to go out there and execute. You still got to go out there and make the plays.
All the PIs, okay, I see. Yeah. All the PIs. Anytime we move.
Those PIs, like, they were able to get away with a lot, and we would look at them wrong and get a flag.
Mr. Tommy, great seeing you back on the terrible board. He says, my concern is less with the result of this game. It's systematic issues. Yes, because, again, one loss is one loss. But if you don't fix these issues, that's systematically the issues all the time, over and over. Are we really improving? Yet you are always as weak. What do they say? You're only as strong as your weakest player. And, you just kind of wonder. If we have this Achilles heel and we just can't stop these veteran quarterbacks who know how to pick us apart, how can we ever overcome and do the things that we want to do as a football team? So much to get into today, guys. Let's see. This Phil Steele, he says, here we go. Everybody's takes on yesterday's game. I told y'all, like Vanilla said, it's just another game. I agree. And listen, we're in a good trend. Believe it or not, we are in a trend of the good teams that take an L in the division to a bad team. Mm-hmm. And that's happened about 3 or 4 other times in the league this season. And guess what? It just happened to us. I'm not really down on this. I'm down on the defense. And again, we're going to complain about it and talk about it all morning. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. And, if you can't get too high after a win, you can't get too low after a loss. We can't be swinging every which way. So it sucks. And, it's how they respond is going to be key.
And that's the thing too. We have to sit around and wait for 10 days. That's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
Of course, our next game is next Sunday night. The throwback game between the Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers at Acrisure Stadium. Mike and I have something a little special planned for next Friday here in the show. So you're not going to want to miss that. Let's get back at it.
Derpy will not be naked. That's not the plan. I'll spoil that part.
Jeez. Mr. Tummy says last year, average points against 20.4. So far this year, 23.3. The defense got worse.
Yeah.
We've given up 30-plus points in three games this year, one of them being the New York Jets, one of them being the Cincinnati Bengals, then, of course, the Seattle Seahawks, who beat us as well. Mr. Tummy follows it up by saying Flacco neutralized the front seven with the 2.2 second release. He sure did. He sure did. No wonder Tomlin was so upset about this move. Okay, give me any other reason that makes more sense than that.
Dude, the Bengals are right back in a hunt now.
No, they're not.
In the playoff for a playoff.
No, they're not.
They could. They're back, baby.
Let's talk in 12 weeks about the Bengals. It's not going to listen. Let me give you a hint. We're 4-2. Again, this is the same exact thing as we were last year under Justin Fields, but we're letting up more points this year. The Bengals are 3-4. Listen, if you're game 7 and you're 3-4, you're not going to be. you shouldn't be a factor at the end of the season. But I guess anything's possible depending on how bad we fall and depending on maybe some other things. But I'm not sold on Cincinnati for one because their defense is terrible. We just played the shittiest game of the year. Probably our defense looked like it did in week 1 and week 2. It literally looked the same. We couldn't stop the run. This running back, Mike, in the league's worst running game, goes over 100 yards. Joe Flacco over 300 yards passing. Chase, come on. How can you not know what's going to happen unless here's the thing is they just couldn't stop him. Like you knew after 25, 33, 52 targets where the ball was going. Yeah, the guys that we brought in to stop that did a very, very poor job at stopping it.
Yeah, they did. And sometimes it's your night, sometimes it's not. But it's where it's going. Just fucking hit them. And that was the thing. Like last week, we were hitting their guys hard for the Browns, making them quit. It's like when the Bengals cut the ball, it's like we were being soft and gentle with them.
I tell you what, though.
They did not have, that defense did not have the edge it had last week.
I'm going to be honest with you. Jamar Chase is the real deal. And if anybody thought otherwise, come on, that was a performance that, like no other. You don't see that kind of performance every day around the league. And it kind of concerns to me because the guy plays every week. He gets good numbers, but it seems like against the Steelers, it's always, it always seems a lot worse. Of course, it's our team, so that doesn't surprise me. Let's move on here a little bit, though, Mike. Jason Atkins, what's up, brother? Always great seeing you back on the board. Jason says, absolutely abysmal. It's a shame. You're right, man. And again, I can't believe the score was 31. It shouldn't have been that close. Mr. Tommy says, can we get more secondary help via the trade? Got to swap out the old dudes. Somber, what's up, dude? Always great seeing you as well. He said, this is a classic right here. He says, Broderick Jones tackling our 41-year-old quarterback just topped off the night.
Yeah.
It would have really, if he would have got injured, that would have been the topping on the cake. Which,
like, Broderick, I appreciate your enthusiasm, wanting to fire the team up. You're loving your QB. Don't fuck it. He's 90 years old. You don't jump on his back. You let him jump on your back, bro.
He's so old and frail looking. I mean, what makes you think that you could jump? What makes you think that you could jump on his back like that? You 300-pound.
Yeah. And Aaron had that look on his face from the beginning of the game, like, I don't want to put up with any fucking bullshit. He had that look almost similar to the Seattle Seahawks game look in his eyes of, I guess we're doing this tonight. That's what he looked like. And when Broderick jumped on him and tackled him, he had that look of a pissed off dad. Like he had that look of like, I'm getting the belt and I'm whooping your ass.
So again, are we winners or are we losers, Mike? A lot of people had said, and even as low as 0-6 was going to be the way the Steelers were going to be after 6 games. But here we are, 4-2. We still sit atop the division. We have a 1.5 lead over Cincinnati. And again, beating the Steelers and beating other teams are different. Again, Tom Brady, there's a formula to beating us. And again, these veterans know how to do it. They've seen the game. They know what they're looking at. And as Flacco did come out and say, he says this is exactly what we knew what they were going to do. And I think Chase said it and So again, guys, I don't know how many teams like that could beat us, but have difficult times beating other teams because again, it's in the division. You know how to play the Steelers as we know how to play them and the Ravens and Cleveland, so on and so forth. So again, I don't think this loss is devastating. No. However, I think that it answers some questions. Are we going to consistently be able to stay at the level that we were when we were happy with what we were doing a week ago, 2 weeks ago? That's, I think, is the big question. I think it's like it was said on the board. It's more of a systematic thing. I think that the players are going to do what the players are going to do. Again, you brought in the top of the dogs, man. You're paying so much money out on this defense. And at the end of the day, if the players can't figure out how to stop it, the coach has got to figure this out. If the defensive coordinator can't figure this out, somebody has to be able to figure this out. We can't, if this is going to be the Achilles heel, then this is how the last game of the season is going to play, whether it be in January or whether it be the game that eliminates us from getting into the playoffs. This will be the exact kind of game that finishes our Pittsburgh Steelers off this season. So is it going to be possible that this team fixes and learns and understands how to stop this? Again, we're doing it to other teams. So I understand what's going on. I see the way that we're successful doing it. and I see how teams are successful against us. So again, this is something we have to figure out, Mike, or this will be the way our very last game is played out this year.
Yeah, and like with the defense, like this game, it felt like a very conservative defensive game plan. Whereas the past couple weeks, they were taking more and more chances up front, blitzing guys from different angles. Whereas this one, it was that old tried and true Steeler defense of we'll let you have the underneath shit just as long as you don't beat us over top. Instead of going out there and just trying to fucking pressure the quarterback the way we have been the past couple weeks. What was working? We went back to like, oh, did they have two dynamic receivers? Okay, let's not let them beat us deep. We'll give them the short to intermediate shit. And guess what? Flacco knew like that shit's going to be open. That works against younger quarterbacks, guys who are still fresh in the league that will force the ball downfield to where you can, get your interceptions and you can get your sacks because they're holding on to the ball. These older guys, they'll we'll pick you apart across the middle. We'll take those short routes. We'll be patient. And it's just the weird how we flipped the script, man. We were being very aggressive last week against the Browns. We were very aggressive against Minnesota. They should have just kept that momentum going right there. And that was a schematic error right there. I like I said yesterday, are we going to see a vanilla team, a vanilla defense because of a short week? And I think that's what we did. We went back to just playing a vanilla defense last night, and it bit us in the ass. When we were being aggressive these past 2 to 3 weeks, that's when you saw this defense playing well. Because they were playing free and loose. Instead of here, they were playing restraint. And this, let them play aggressive. I'd rather lose by being aggressive than lose by being conservative.
All right, let's aggressively attack the board. Tortilla says, I don't think the DBs are the problem. The refs established we can't touch them at all without the flag. Explains why they had so much space. Jason says he may not know the playbook, but he knows Mike Tomlin's terrible defense. He knows it inside and out. He sure does. He sure proved it last night. Now we get why we didn't want Joey Browning to not be the quarterback. I was, again, I for some reason I thought there was something other than this, but again, no wonder the coach called them out like that. We now know that it was because we were living in our fears, but not on the show. We're going to continue on. Mr. Tummy says point 2.2 release plus top 2 wide receivers greater than our defense. Absolutely no two ways about it. Yes. John says Steelers constantly picking up old cast-offs from other teams thinking they will have the fountain of youth water in their Gatorade. Same old D schemes with the same old results.
Well, those old cast-offs were playing their asses off, playing at a high level the past 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, all right.
Well, just saying.
So everybody is too. Everybody's a little frustrated. So let's let everybody get it out, and we'll go from there. Tortilla says this. He says, and DK had a chance at that Hail Mary, but chose to flop instead.
What the fuck was he doing?
I don't know.
Like, even Fryruth was like, fuck.
I think he chugged it about 70 yards.
Yeah,
that little old man. He got it down there. It
was like 69.8 yards or 68.9 air yards or some shit like that. Yeah, it was impressive.
Mr. Tommy says I put this team at 10-7 at the start of the season. I caught with 4-1 rose-colored glass. You know what I say? Here's the thing. Mostly everybody did too. 10-11 wins is where everybody had us. And when we were 4-1, it was feeling really possible. Maybe we could surpass that. But now, again, you got to start asking yourself questions. Here we are. We're in the same place we were last year. We're sitting at 4-2. I think we've given up a lot more at this point, though. As said on the board earlier, our defense has, again, 3 games. We've given up 30-plus points. Not a good thing for the highest-paid defense in the league, and especially 2 of the teams were the Jets and the Bengals. Joe Burrowless Bengals, if you will. And again, this is why these guys were brought here. Like, this is why they brought these guys and they built the defense the way they did, was to stop this Bengals team. No, that's there's no hiding that. It is what it is, and this is what's happening. So now we have to figure out what's going on. We have 10 days to get ready for Green Bay. Luckily, we do have 2 home games coming up. Unfortunately, the first one is a night game. Sunday night is going to be the Green Bay throwback game, and then the following week we play Indianapolis at home. So we got some time to figure this out. Mike will be, again, at 8 games after that. I was saying yesterday on the show, I said, geez, if we win out these next 3, we'll be sitting at 7-1 at 8 games. Now I'm thinking, man, if we lose these next 2, we'll be 4-4 in 8 games. That's kind of a swing. So I hope we could figure it out as we play these better quarterbacks that we're going to start seeing in the league, these young, talented quarterbacks these next couple weeks. Of course, Jordan Love and Danny Dimes both having moderate success this season. So it's going to be interesting. Let's move on. Jason Atkins says this. He says they couldn't tackle at all. The whole defense it stunk. The defense stunk, and that's the thing that scares me. We just every week we're gonna be like, which defense is this? Is it gonna be the good defense, or is this gonna be the shitty defense? And I hate that week to week. I was hoping to see a little bit more consistency, and again, against a little bit better of a passing team like Cincinnati. But there's so many other things that are bad that, again, what they did last night was freakish. We're gonna get into all the numbers here shortly. Mr. Tummy says no need to talk about the offense, even with the turnovers. They performed very well. I agree. 100-yard rusher. Aaron Rodgers, Mike, 4 touchdowns again.
Yeah.
And even like the receivers we have, our wide receiver room, they were all able to step it up at some point during the game, especially Pat Freiermuth, who got very little looks all season long. And Roman Wilson, who has done nothing wrong this year performance-wise at all the way back through preseason. All he does is catch the ball. I even seen the little guy jump over somebody.
He was hurling people out there. He was acting like he was Saquon. I was ready for him to spin around in the air on that one.
So, getting a good performance out of all of our receivers. Again, the offense, they did exceptionally well. They scored 31 points. You should be able, with the number 1 paid defense in the league, be able to win games that you scored 31 points.
Yeah, and especially scoring late. With a little over 2 minutes left on the clock, the defense should have been able to shut them down at that point. It was shades of Big Ben. Like, he would go down, lead a touchdown drive, and the defense come out, shit the bed. Again, like, Ben would throw 4 or 5 touchdowns, defense would give it up. But it was having flashbacks.
Corey Beavers, my man, he says, I saw the stats pregame and I knew it was over. Going to be my 34th Thursday theory. They went to 3-4. Then Joe's all-time is 11-13 when putting him at 12 minus 13. 1 + 2 = 3. You know what? As weird as that sounds, it's the same kind of shit I do. My brain just automatically starts doing what you're doing right now. It makes me nuts. But I totally get what you're saying, whether everybody else does or not. Jason also says this on the board. He says that was definitely pass interference on Chase for sure. Yes. Feel the Steel says, I already told y'all what needs to be done since 2022. Clean up the system. Richard says, what a disappointment. What's up, Richard? Great seeing you on the board as well, man. It was a great disappointment. Tortilla, that first Chase touchdown felt like it changed the moment. I had no doubt after that call that pass interference on Ramsey, we were going to lose. Kenneth says, now that we see why Tomlin was worried, I don't understand why the defense can take 2 steps back any given game.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the identity of our defense? Is it this, or is it the other?
Exactly.
Is it Jekyll, or is it Hyde? We don't know. And I thought by 6 games, Mike, that we would have a better grasp on what it is this defense was going to be. I still don't know. They didn't stop the run well. They didn't stop the pass well. They didn't do much of anything. Again, take those 2 early sacks out. I can't think of one play that they made. Think about making plays. I'm not talking about chasing and tackling. When did they make a play? We couldn't get off the field, Mike. Mike, the time of possession was like almost 10 minutes. They had more than us. It was typical Tom Brady, Patriots coming in and whooping our ass kind of offense. Luckily, again, we were able to score 31 points. Luckily, we had Aaron Rodgers. Luckily, because, again, if we had the same quarterback situation we had over the past 4 years, this might have been 33 to 3. There's been times we couldn't even score. So, again, luckily for a 4-touchdown throwing quarterback, Mike, again, for the second time this season, he was able to keep us in this football game. But this defense got to be fixed, man. It's got paying way too much money. Guys are worried about money getting on the planes right before their first preseason game, and they're going to hold out. Well, then do something. But make sure you better damn sure play. Yeah. Make sure that you're making that money. Then, if you're going to drag your feet and stomp your ass the whole way to the come on. The Cam Hayward sure wasn't changing the complexion of this game at all. No, and I'm not pointing everything on him. I'm just using him as an example. The defense was putrid.
Well, when you want to be that leader, the the Steeler legend, and you belong with all these guys. It's you and me and Chris Jones are the D tackles. You want to talk about yourself that way. You have to produce that way, and you have to go out to perform that way, and not. I like the best performance I saw out of him was in the post game press conferences. That was the most emotion he showed all year. Was being pissed that we lost.
And his explanation, Mike, come on, Mike Tomlin, we knew he was going to come forth with a brain, some kind of exploding brain explanation. This is what he said, Mike, after the game. Mike Tomlin's initial response was, they made more plays than we did. You know what?
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. But that is the most generic
correct
answer that you could give anybody.
But is
that the most Mr. Obvious? Why even ask him the question? They obviously made more plays. There's nothing that he said that everybody didn't know. He gives no insight. I'm not even sure he knows anymore what the hell's going on. Like, again, this particular style game, it's not the team. Again, the defense is terrible. The offensive line is terrible. This particular style game has been a thorn in the Pittsburgh Steelers side for decades. Decades. I've seen Tom Brady come into this stadium here in Pittsburgh and do this to us over and over and over. So this tells me it just takes a guy savvy enough to be able to pick this defense apart. Mike, these are two things that was said about our Steelers last night after the game. Joe Flacco, he says this. Okay, this was actually Chase. Jamar Chase says Steelers defense schemes are so predictable. They did everything that we expected. This is what Mike was said about Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco says he didn't used to, or this is out of his mouth. Joe Flacco didn't used to love playing Pittsburgh, but he does now. Again, this is the top paid defense in the league. I shouldn't hear guys saying I love playing Pittsburgh now. That just tells me that, again, the blueprint is out there. This is, you're only as good as your weakest link. And if this is our weakest link, as I said, this will be the way our last game plays out. Whether it's in January or whether it's that first week of January when the season ends or in the playoffs, Mike, this kind of game will be the game that sends your Steelers packing and home into the offseason and get us ready for the draft, because it's over and over and over this kind of game that the Pittsburgh Steelers get beat. Granted, we are scoring more points now. Granted, we did get to 30 points in a couple of these games that we let up 34. Unfortunately, one of them was a win over the Jets. But again, three games we let up over 30 points. And again, there's no sign of us being able to stop a team that's ran the way these particular teams ran their offense against us, Mike. And one thing I have to keep saying, the offensive line is terrible. It got Joe Burrow killed. The defense is terrible. They haven't been able to stop anything all season. It's those three players. It's Flacco, it's Higgins, it's Chase. Mike, all you need is that and knowing how to beat the Steelers. And again, we're going to be beat, and that is going to be how we get beat and are eliminated this year. As I said, whether they knock us out of the playoffs prior to or in later January, that's the kind of game that's going to beat the Steelers.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way it's been going for years and years and years and years and years.
Absolutely. No, nothing new. You're right. That's what's sad, because this isn't anything that we didn't know, and we didn't go out and spend a shitload of money on to fix. So again, a lot of questions, guys, and we knew it would come. The fact of the matter is we didn't expect the team to win every game. And the fact of the matter is a lot of the good teams are losing to bad teams in their division this year. So we're in a good trend, I guess. But at the end of the day, Mike, a lot of teams thought we were going to be in the basement this time of year. Even some said 0-6. So again, 4-2, matching last year's record. I guess what we do from here and beyond really will identify what this team is.
And a lot of people had us, not even just in the national media, just, fans in general had this team, being terrible this year, saying this team's going to be bad. And, hey, we're 4-2 right now. 4-2, still in first place, still control our destiny. One fucking game, Can't get too high after a win, can't get too low after a loss.
All right, let's get back to it, man. I see a bunch of amazing messages. I don't want to miss anybody again. I hope everybody's having a fine Friday. I know it gets a little rough after Steeler losses, but again, guys, here we are. We're talking it out. Next on the terrible board, Mike, I see this right here. Jason Atkins says, I think the offensive line played well. I do too. I think the offensive line looked fantastic. We didn't give up a sack again. Mike, the offensive line keeps Aaron Rodgers off the ground again. So that's, a lot to say about what's going on with our offensive line. Obviously, this was an issue for us early on and in the offseason, and whether it's the fruit of the offensive line becoming better or the fruit of the offensive line facing the Bengals front seven. Fact of the matter is that we're keeping our 41-year-old quarterback off the ground. That's always a good thing. We're going to go to Corey. Corey says it's like gematria. It's all about reduction and simply the numbers. So even when it looks like the numbers don't pan out, sometimes they go deeper than what's on the surface. You're right, man. You always got to peel back them layers. Just like an onion. And when you do, chances are it's going to stink. Somber says Warren was running for free out there. So naturally they started throwing it more. Yeah, man. I hear you, brother. Tortilla says that's exactly what the league wanted the Bengals to win last night. If they lose, they will most likely be out of contention when Burrow comes back. And this is going to certainly make for some interesting games down the road for sure. They are going to get their quarterback back. We do get them again later. So a long way to go, guys. Be it as it may, it is only 6 games. We still have 11 more games to play. 2 of them coming up next at home. So that's somewhat encouraging. Richard says the defense was exposed again. I hope they can fix it. I hope they can fix it and it can stay fixed and adapt in a way that they can continuously do that on the go. Because again, you have to make changes every game. You have to make changes every halftime. You have to make changes through the course of every game. So, for them to get back to where we were happy with them and then them being able to stay at that level, that's my concern. If they could stay, I think any given week they could be the good defense that we like. It's just is that going to be consistent enough? Again, 3 games out of 6 we let up 30 plus points. That's a tell.
Yeah.
Jason says this defense ain't going to get any better. Somber says worst run game in the league and down our throats. True. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? For one, if Jamar Chase puts up 1,000,000 yards, which he did, then number 2 receiver shouldn't be putting up close to 100, but he did. And if he does, then the running back shouldn't have over 100. It was come on, that might have been the worst defensive performance of the season. Like, they did nothing. They made no plays. They react, they chase, they tackle, and that's what it was. It was Cincinnati. It was Joe Flacco imposing his will on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense all night long. Again, it didn't even feel like they punted. I had to go back and look to see if they even punted. We couldn't get off the field.
No, could not make a play.
So what happens when we face this kind of game and the defense is good and they stop our offense? So you see what I'm saying? There's so much that goes into this. There's a lot to talk about, guys. BH, hey, what's up, dude? B-Shave87, welcome back to the show. Great seeing you on the board. He says, surprised I'd have more faith in the offense than the defense this year, but here we are. This makeshift offense, some young linemen, some I don't think is quite as athletic as a lot of the other wide receivers in the league this year. A 41-year-old quarterback. So you would have thought maybe there would have been some issues, guys, maybe on this offense that we would be upset about. I'm not. The guys threw 4 touchdowns. How could I be upset with Aaron Rodgers? Yeah. Yes, there was a interception here. Yeah, but listen, that was a good performance. Compare that to any quarterback we've had over the past 6 years. Has anybody threw a 4-touchdown game? Let's talk about that. Yeah. I mean, this is Aaron's second of the season, and again, we're putting up 30-plus points in those games. It's not him. If we wanted to pick shit, we can figure it out. We can find stuff to complain about. But at the end of the day, it was hardly Aaron Rodgers' fault that we did lose this football game.
You come back and engineers a game-winning drive to see it vanish quickly.
I didn't even think they were going to have that chance to get back. The fact they got into it, the way he got back into it, Mike, was all Aaron Rodgers, and that defense just kept letting us down all night.
It reminded me of Ben years of, engineering drive after drive and having to go out there and consistently do it over and over and over again.
Tortilla says, did you see Broderick Jones tackle Aaron Rodgers after the Muth touch? I got to be honest with you. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I don't know what's going through that young man's head. All I do know is when I see Aaron Rodgers, he's little and he's frail.
He got chicken legs. You can't be jumping on somebody with that chicken legs.
Compared to somebody, in this league where everybody's oversized compared to an average human being, Aaron seems to be very average sized. And to see a guy that large jumping on his back, I got to be as fun. Listen, I mean, he could have killed the guy. But the fact that he didn't kill him, I think that it's funny and it could give you a chuckle. But geez, oh man, that's just the kind of night it was. That is just the kind of night it was. Richard says missed tackles, broken coverage, lack of pressure. Corey says Tomlin doesn't prep for short weeks. It's like his mindset is that Thursday night games don't affect his record or something. Of course, yeah. How many still haven't won one against whatever it is, division teams or
like 2-9 on the road, 0-7 against the division. I think on the road.
Yeah. He says night games don't. Okay, I don't get it, but since he certainly became prepared after getting beat by Green Bay. Phil says after another week to shit on the defense, but if versus the Packers, the defense has a great game, the love will be back one game at a time. And you're right. We said that yesterday before the Bengals, before the loss. We emphasize how important every single game is. And realistically, this team wasn't going to go 16-1. So now what are you going to do next? How do you adjust? How do you adapt? How do you respond is what's going to identify and create the identity of this team. So we will see moving forward what the Steelers do. Are they going to fix the problem? And again, I'm kind of glad, Mike, that we're getting some quality quarterbacks coming up now, and it's going to give us an idea of what we need to fix and where we are. And I look forward to this Green Bay game. Again, not only the good-looking uniforms, Mike, the throwback 1933 yellows, and then also the Packers wearing their throwbacks with the replica leather helmets. So I'm very excited about that. And again, we do have something exciting next Friday. So we hope everybody joins us then heading into that game. But as of right now, we do have to get back at the board where Tortilla says Broderick thinks Rodgers is Hugh Jackman.
He got that healing factor, man. He's Wolverine. Look at him. He's old, but he still got it.
Like when you say something like that, it really makes me think of Broderick Jones really thinking that he's Hugh Jackman. It's because he's kind of
poor Broderick. Broderick has been playing well, and here we are shitting the poor kid.
You're right.
He's getting better and better. If he gets beat, he's angling his guy to allow the quarterback to be able to roll out left or right or step into the pocket. So even when he's getting beat, he's giving his guy a chance. But he just can't beat the allegations that he's just not all there sometimes.
Just a dummy.
I just want to know what's going through his head someplace. He's like, football, I'm having fun. As he's pass blocking and shit.
Remember, he says his goal this year was to keep his quarterback from getting sacked. Wasn't that your goal the first 3 years?
No. Just this year. This year. And he's doing well at it now.
He's doing all right.
He's doing well at it now.
Let's see. Tomlin's Mark Malone with his game. Listen, it's going to be hard to award the game ball this morning, which we're going to do, and we're going to give grades and get through all the numbers and everything, I promise. But this, Mike, this is what I expected more, and this could be game ball worthy. Mark Malone says Tomlin's D got jizzed on again, a.k.a. maybe the raw dog might be the correct way to put it. We got raw dog, man. Tortilla says this loss ruined my acid trip.
Gotta double down, Tortilla.
Maybe Tortilla thought we were winning all night. Maybe this is the problem.
Gotta double down. That's all you gotta do.
John says there's always excuses. The refs, the league wanted it that way. How about the Steelers got outcoached, outplayed? How about it is the same old shit for over a decade? I don't know if you can argue that, John. And I don't know if Steeler fans want to hear it, but let's see. B-Shafe 087, my man. He says Joe Flacco knows how to beat the Steelers better than maybe anyone in the league. Now the Bengals were probably thinking that when they got him for sure. And so is Mike Tomlin. And the only reason that he made a stink last week was because of this. He wanted to avoid this at all costs. He was pissed. He wanted Jake Browning, as we all did. However, we went out and we built a super defense, and they found a way to beat us in our super defense. Why couldn't, with our super defense, we find a way to stop a 40-year-old quarterback that has no offensive line and no defense? I don't know this, but they figured it out rather quick. Again, Joe Flacco don't know the playbook. So again, guys, we have some figuring out to do. Tortilla says we need to make Derpy the defensive coordinator.
He just be flashing the quarterback every play.
Derpy be changing plays after the play is called, like how you're saying he's doing in the scores.
He is too. That's what
he's going to call the play. We're going to get sacked, and he's going to change it and say he called something else. Jason says, watch Flacco come out and play like garbage. I wouldn't doubt it one bit, Jay. I would not doubt it one bit. That would be very par for the course. If Joe Flacco comes out and shits the bed next week, and it's just that if that's not one of the most Pittsburgh Steelers things I've ever heard anybody say, Come on.
I don't know. He looked pretty good the second
Mike, do you
half
remember how
against
good he
Green
looked
Bay.
at Cleveland? And then he went into that playoff game and just shit the bed against the Houston Texans 2 years back.
Yeah.
This has that feel to me. I just think that he's going to come out and somebody's going to beat him up and they're going to be like, oh, Joe Flacco don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And then they're going to say, well, what the hell happened against that top paid defense up in Pittsburgh? Mark Malone says Tomlin knew Flacco would outsmart him. Field of Steel says at Steeler Freak, I'm going to go one game at a time. A win is a win and a loss is a loss. But if you can tell if the coaches are doing their job. Jason says Austin needs gone and Tomlin needs to get his hands out of the defense. It hasn't worked in years. Derpy, what's up, dude? Derpy says the Derpy shirt is off. Derpy needs his luck tonight for this other team. Yeah, he got his big high school game tonight. Hope he leaves his shirt on. I hope he acts different when he's around his college, his high school alum than he does here. We're flexible. Can you imagine if he goes and loses his shirt up there at a high school football game? They'll arrest his ass. Phyllis still says, Derp, just another game, Derps. We got to get through it. Corey says, I think the Steeler Nation should stop watching Thursday Night Football when we play. Who knew we weren't winning no matter who it was or who it is we play? Derpy says, not really. Phyllis still going for 9-0. I guess his high school team is looking really good. Derpy's been doing the scores. He's been keeping track of the scores for that high school for almost 20 years. Jason says the rest of the schedule is brutal. That's what I've been saying, dude. Once you got past this game, it doesn't get any easier. So I hope they figured out to this point what it is they have to do moving forward. Because even if, and I was going to say, even if the records don't show, but the records do show, these are good teams coming up record-wise. Of course, Buffalo isn't doing what we expected them to do, yada, yada, yada. But by no means, I don't think that's going to be any easier of a game. The Colts, the Packers, the Bills, the Lions. So, and then we get all of our division teams again, and Baltimore twice. So if they're able to get it together when Jackson comes back, I don't know. But one thing I do know, we did make it out of the game pretty much healthy last night, Mike, which is one of the important things that I thought that we talked about through the week. If they could get out of this game early or healthy,
yeah,
that's a good step. I mean, take out all the shit that came along with it, but getting healthy, getting these 10 days to continue to get healthy. Calvin Austin's expected to be back next week. Malik Harrison back in practice. So things are happening. And again, guys, the trade deadline in less than 3 weeks. So if we are going to get another wide receiver, it's going to happen soon. And I do know this, Mike, according to BetMGM, the best landing spot for Jalen Waddle from Miami, we like him. He used to be a Bengal. The Steelers, number 1. Number 2, the New England Patriots. Number 3, the Giants. Number 4, Denver. Number 5, Carolina. If you're wondering maybe we're this young, not so young, this veteran wide receiver may go, Mike, that is the order that BetMGM believes the odds of where Jalen Waddle might go. Of course, a lot of other names we've talked about over the past few weeks as well. Olave, Myers, and you know them all.
Maybe after last night, we should look for some D-line help, some corner help. And the offense looked really fucking good.
We might have to score 50 points a game, though.
We might have to be like the Bengals, man.
Right. If we have to outscore everybody, you know what I mean? That might just have to be what it is. But again, you shouldn't be paying this much money out. And giving into a 40-year-old defensive tackle is the game is getting ready to start for a pay raise in the last minute because he played a little extra last year. What about this year? Let's jump back on the board. Right here, right there, right here. Tortilla says we need naked Derpy on the sidelines to intimidate her. I don't know if it's intimidation, but it's something.
They need to tell the guys you have to execute, or Derpy gets to rub his boobies on your face. For every dropped interception, every dropped pass, missed block, missed assignment, Derpy gets to rub his dirty titties on your face.
John says Slay and Ramsey are old. Quink can't cover, and Porter isn't all that thus far. The Steelers players can't compete with tier 1 quality opponents. Same old shit. Mr. Tommy's agreeing with him. Mark Malone says those are 2 quarterbacks that can outsmart Tom, and you're right. You're right. And as long as somebody can do that, and again, now that the blueprint's out there, you could at least focus on that particular game plan, opposed to going in, clueless against the Steelers, getting sacked 7 times or whatnot. Now the blueprint's out there. That's kind of a worrisome thing as well. As again, the Steelers have to figure out a way to fix this and to stay consistent after doing so. So it's going to be interesting moving forward, guys. And as being said, it's not going to get any easier as we go.
You can see, like, this defense, when they do not get any pressure up front, it's easy to sit back there and hit those quick hitters all night long. And when the front 4, front 5 cannot get off their blocks, make a play, force the quarterback to do something stupid, that's when you see these quarterbacks just pick you apart all night long. And it all starts up front.
Was that Julian Edelman and Tom Brady? No, it wasn't. It was Joe Flacco. That's what Tom Brady did to us for years.
Mm-hmm.
And we just couldn't figure out how to fix it.
Just hit those quick little routes. I was just going through and saw some video. Like, there were plays where the defensive line would start to get there, but there would be a blown coverage on the back end. The defense was just, when one part of the phase of the defense was doing well, the other part of the defense was not doing what they needed to do. And it was just the front end of the defense, back end of the defense could never get on the same page last night of execution. One would execute, the other one would shit the bed. One would shit the bed, the other one's doing their job. So if clean that shit up, because we saw it the past 3 weeks, the defense was on the same page for 3 weeks in a row. They had a bad game. We know what this defense can do. We saw what they can do. Get back to it up front. If you can get up front,
a rookie who literally had 1 game experience is a whole different. You know what I mean? This is who we played a good defensive game against last week.
Carson Wentz, who was
a proven loser in the NFL. Yes,
a pretty good quarterback at one point in
that's
Philly.
your opinion, but at one time, you're right. He was
at one time.
Let's move on though. Jason said, when was the last time the Steelers had a home Thursday night game? I can't remember either, dude. I really cannot remember.
It's like a home game against the Chiefs or the Colts. They're few and far between.
Mr. Tommy says Thursday night away teams 2-5. They should stop them, but NFL is greedy. Yeah, and you know what? If we were winning, I would love the Thursday games.
Yeah,
I'd be sitting here saying, "Yeah, we get to watch my Steelers more." But now they're losing. F them Thursday night games. Jason says the offense played good. The offense did play good. I could go on and on. I think we'll talk more about the offense tomorrow. We got to get the bad shit out of the way before we can even enjoy the good stuff.
Tomorrow?
Oh, jeez, oh, man.
Today's Friday, bro.
Mr. Tommy says we need to stop equating good with money spent. You're right, but I mean, there should be the margin shouldn't be so big. I mean, if you're the most, you should be getting better results to some degree. Again, this defense did nothing. Think about it. Very little, if you will. It was a reaction defense that was on their heels all night, just chasing people around and making tackles. There was nothing being enforced by our defense at all. Tyrone, what's up, brother? Always great to see my man Tyrone on the board. He says this the most sorry defense I've ever seen. Well, we are going to get into numbers here shortly, so I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you were right, Tyrone. I hope you're having a good day today. We're trying our best here. Big Pun says Tomlin either refuses to or can't acknowledge the problems on defense. And the thing is, he's a defensive guy. The guy won a Super Bowl as a defensive assistant coach. He came in as a defensive coach. We have the highest paid defense. We have more superstars on our defense than, you know what I mean? Totally unexpected or totally unacceptable, in my opinion. Again, guys, those 3 guys for the Bengals were it. Their offensive line, again, stinks. Their defense stinks. But great having you on, Big Pun. Always great seeing you on the board. Mr. Tommy said so far this season, average points for 25, average points against 23.3. That's a 1.7 difference. So the Steelers win-lose is a coin flip. And again, guys, we're sitting at 4-2, which was what the record was as Justin Fields was pulled last year from the starting position, Mike. So we're at the same exact spot. What do we do here makes the difference, I guess. How we respond and what we do next. That's going to be all the story. So hang tight, boys. This is football season at its finest. Let's get ready for them Packers. Tyrone says, hey, Ramsey Chase ran 7 out routes. Wonder what's next. How many times could they do the same exact thing? John, Mr. Tommy, it's been that way for years. Kenneth, my man, always great seeing Kenneth on the terrible board. He says Patrick Queen can't tackle or cover. He should have hit runners several times that kept standing and making yards. Wrap him up, Queen.
And for the past 3 weeks, he's been a thumper, been the sideline guy, and now he's playing like he did, beginning of the year.
Sure right. You're 100% right. Tyrone says D-line was ghosts. Jason says Benton is not a nose tackle. And you know what? We've been saying that for years. Just he's making it harder to defend him, because for years we said how he just wasn't. He wasn't it. He's not it. He's not the guy. If you want an effective nose tackle, it's not him. And he kind of pulled me in a little bit earlier this year. Like, he had two sacks in the first game of the season. I thought this is going to be it. With this good defense around him, Benton's going to play up, and things are going to be better.
He started off the game well.
He did start off the game well.
He was on fire to start the game.
Until Cincinnati started playing.
Yeah.
Kenneth says Ramsey gets beat more than he shuts down. Again, we have a lot of talent, guys, to be getting torched like this. Hey, what's up, Brian? Always great seeing Brian on the board. Brian Pasquale says all week long, the guys on the radio kept saying how Smiles Carrot was a complete no-show versus a division rival. I haven't heard them saying the same thing about TJ Watt. Invisible Watt is what Invisible Watt. You know what? You're not wrong. Again, I credit that. I defend them in a sense that I know how Smiles Carrot didn't get any sacks. It's that quick delivery. That's how we game plan to beat that, and that's how they game plan to beat us. We have to figure out how to counter that now, because again, it's going to be used as long as you got a veteran quarterback who knows what he's looking at every now and then, and it's not a guy playing on his second game. That could always be be an issue for us. Richard says the Bengals hired Kansas City's referees last night. Phil says yes. Shit, okay. The defense right now, get it out. Now you know how I felt when the offense wouldn't do shit. When the Steelers D played ball and offense wouldn't complain or compliment with points. Point taken, man. We'll eat it for sure, man. Kenneth says Warren ran 127 and we scored 31. Not on the off. No, you're right. And again, our quarterback throws for 4 touchdowns. That's a good night. That's a good night on any level. If your quarterback throws 4 touchdowns, your team puts up plus 30.
You should win the game.
It all really points to what exactly the problem was. It's the defense, guys. I don't think there's any doubt there. Big Pun says, shame on me for thinking the new cornerbacks will make a difference until Tomlin is fired. Nothing will change. Mark Malone says, I actually appreciate Tomlin not shucking and jiving for once. Richard said we were out coached last night. Tyrone says that pick was DK with DK was bullshit for sure.
It was, but still, you can't let a guy that you're 6 inches taller than, probably outweigh by a good 25 pounds, rip the ball out of your hands. You gotta rip that ball back out.
Speaking of big guys, did you see big Darnell Washington get overthrown? Aaron Rodgers threw the ball over his head, and I thought, oh my God, how do you overthrow that guy?
How the fuck do you miss that?
How do you miss that target?
How? The man's a fucking skyscraper out there.
He's like Eric Green 2.0. That's what I think when I see him running down the field.
Yeah.
John says the Steelers give a few regular season wins, which give many false hope. I won't fall for it anymore, he says. The team is an endless loop of average to below average play, depending on their opponents. Tyrone says, Richard, does that shock you? I think where Richard was saying that we got out-coached is what Tyrone is replying to. Big Pun says that, John, I agree. Agreeing with what John just said. Field of Steel says, hey, the perfect time for the for the ping pong player to show up. I know where this is. Again, if you've been on the show for a while, you're going to pick this up. Not, you may not, but nonetheless, Brian is on the board today. Jason says Steelers defense hasn't been great since 2010. And he follows it up by saying, rinse and repeat. Mark Malone says, I expected 6-0. This is what Mark Malone has been unhealthily optimistic for quite some time, and you got to love it.
You might want to switch off the organic air huffer Put in an inorganic air helper. We might get some clearer predictions. And we might have to change it to paint brand. You know, it's like if you drink the same drink over and over, you don't get that buzz anymore. Smoke the same strains, you don't get the same buzz anymore. We might have to change it up, Mark. We might have to change up your supply.
So we're number 3 right now overall in the AFC. If the season ended today, which it doesn't, we have 11 more games. So I guess it could really go either way. But as of right now, we are the number 3 seed in the AFC. Mike, the Chargers did pass us. They leapfrogged us. They're the number 2 seed now. Indianapolis being the number 1, who we do see in 17 days as we get ready for Green Bay in 10 days. But let's get through some more messages, Mike, and then I want to get the numbers. We are at the halfway point of the show. Tyrone says now we put ourselves in a spot when they play the Jets, the Bears, we play the Packers. Exactly. That's what I said all season long. You got to stack the wins early. Get the wins when you should get the wins, because there will be a time we play the good teams and everybody else in the division gets the bad teams and the teams that we beat. And so again, we'll see. We'll see what happens from here on is going to be the story, guys. Phil the Steel says Steeler Freak going to wait until the coaching system is cleared out. Mark Malone says maybe you can't get too high, but I can.
It's quote of the day.
Tyrone
those are words to live by.
Tyrone says last night I wanted to get back on the weed. Yeah, if any night you needed it.
That would have been the night, brother. That would have been the night.
You know, Jason's saying something on the board here. He's saying a 7-4 in his next 11. I was looking at the schedule, and I thought maybe 6-5, just off the performance that we went off of last night. If you would have asked me prior to that, it would have been better. But I'm looking at about 6-5 on the remaining 11 games, which is going to put us at 10-7. A lot of experts said this, but a lot of experts, Mike, also said a lot worse. And they did say we would be in the basement. So I guess 10-7 won't be the worst thing. But again, the schedule does get considerably tougher as we move along. Tyrone says, I think we win the next 2, though, do always come back good. Yeah, you know what? If we again, one at a time, let's get this win against Green Bay. Then we'll focus on Indy. It's kind of a whole different beast. We'll figure that. But, if we win these 2 games, Mike, then you say, all right, well, maybe we're fixing the problem. But again, the consistency of this team long-term is what's been concerning us for quite a few seasons. Being good and staying consistently good it's a tough part of the game, man. These guys, if it was easy, 32 teams would do it. John says, I have known that since 2011, the media and podcasters are stuck trying to sell an old used car with a new yearly paint job. See, Mr. Tummy says the majority of revenue is from broadcasting, which is shared equally across all 32 teams. There's no incentive for Rooney to perform better. His goal this year was an Ireland game. He's happy, Mike. We've addressed this on the show before. As long as the Rooneys are making money, I mean that's always been your argument. What's the big deal?
Yeah, like if he's making money, he doesn't care.
Feel the Steel says freaking idiot didn't show up the past 2 weeks, and all of a sudden he shows up again. Going back to a message earlier, Tyrone says A-Rod played good defense, lost us the game. That's simple. You're right. You're right. Plain and simple. Only stopped them 3 times. This is the Bengals with the defense. It's the worst running attack in the league, in an offensive line that got Joe Burrow killed. We stopped this team 3 times. Mark Malone, he says most people have been indoctrinated to hate the old white guy. Who's the old white guy? Better not be anybody on this screen.
A-Rod.
A-Rod. There's a lot of old white guys in the conversation. So, I mean, come on. Both quarterbacks. Both people in front of you. Let's see. Big Pun says, Rooney is obviously content with same mediocre results. Otherwise, he would fire Tomlin. Mark Malone says Rooney pretends to care about Ireland while not speaking out against the issues that they're having over in Europe. John says Tomlin will never be fired. Rooney's team equals his choice. The fans could only suffer. Somber says, I bet Tomlin is thinking of a way to get back at the Browns. Bro is scheming. Well, we better, we better kick their asses next time. I got to be honest with you. If we go and lose to the Browns in the next time, again, that's going to be the narrative. They sent this guy over here. We were expecting Jake Browning. and this guy comes out and beats us. So, I mean, this is going to sit in people's stomach for a while. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out, guys, because, again, we still get both these Ohio teams again. We get both Baltimore games again. So, guys, a lot of season left. It's far from over. It could be a lot of excitement or a lot of bitching because it can really go either way with this football team. Jason says losing hurts more than winning feels good. You're right. Corey says the fact that we haven't signed or traded for anyone to fill the holes that we have at this point in the day after the loss tells me that we aren't serious about winning out. Mark Malone, thank God for that. Field of Steel says, oh, yeah, Ryan, injury odds bug didn't bite the team. You're right. This might be the first week, if not the first, one of the first couple weeks, Mike, that the injury bug didn't get us, and that's a plus. Definitely a big plus. We have 10 days to get healthy if there are any kind of bumps, bruises, or injuries, Mike. So again, we're getting healthy. That's definitely a plus. Mark Malone says Mike Williams type incoming. You know what? There's other names been thrown around again. I did say this, Mark. I did see the Bet MGM best landing spot for Jalen Waddle, who I really like. I'd love to get Waddle. Pittsburgh is the number 1 by chance, by odds. New England 2, Giants 3. Broncos 4, Panthers 5. Corey, my man, says Con should have been on the phone as those clocks hit all zeros to fix this shit. And and the thing is, it's tough too. I mean, who you going to go after? Because if the guys are good, there's a chance that they're on a decent team, and maybe they're still hoping for the playoffs. And they're not going to let you pluck their better players. And if they stink, the team stinks. And so again, it's a little tougher than that, but we will see, guys, just a little over 2 weeks, Mike. This coming Tuesday will be 2 weeks until the trade deadline. So if it's going to happen, it's going to come relatively soon.
Yeah, and this, if you think there's a lot of holes that need fixed and you're going to go make a bunch of trades, football's not the sport to do it in mid-season, to do a handful of changes via trade. This isn't baseball where you can just pluck someone in a batting order and say, go get them. This isn't hockey where most teams run the same system and go out there and play. Same with basketball. It's football. Everyone has different playbooks that you have to sit there and absorb and learn, and you hope the guys that come in can learn that playbook and your terminology quickly and fit into your schemes. So outside of getting like one guy who's going to be a starter and maybe a backup, that's about all you're going to see for trades for a team at this juncture. You can't have massive roster overhaul changes to we're going to get 3 or 4 guys to come in here and fix this team. It's just not going to happen.
All right, Mike, what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at some numbers here. We will get back to the board. A bunch of things to get into in the second hour as we try to wrap our minds around what happened in Southwest Ohio last night in the Thursday night football game. Let me grab these numbers. We'll talk about how the Steelers looked, like number-wise. Again, offense, I thought they looked close to fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't perfect by any means, but again, for how it went, Mike, let's look at these team stats for the night last night. The Bengals outgained the Steelers 470 to 396. I mean, 470 is a lot, but you know what? 396 isn't bad.
Yeah.
Had we not let up 470, our 396 would have certainly looked a lot better. Mike, they passed for 328 yards total on the night against our 249. One of the only things that we did beat him in this in the stats page, Mike, is on the rushing plays, rushing yards. We ran for 147 yards. They ran for 142. And we also won the yards per play. And this came down to the end of the game with a lot of these big games. Yeah. They got us at 7.3 yards per play. Them guys got 6.5. Mike, they got 8 more first downs, and we have 27 to 19. Third down efficiency, we were 70%.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. They were only 50%, which is not terrible. Let's see. Total plays, Mike, they had 72. We had 54.
Yeah.
72 to 54. We couldn't get off the field for nothing.
No, and that's been a theme in the recent weeks, is how the time of possession and the amount of plays that the opposing offense has had out there. It's insane how the disparity of those two. And it comes back to the defense not getting off the field.
Mike, they allowed 2 sacks. We didn't let up any. So, again, that's encouraging for our offense. And, again, for a team that people were saying, candidly, that we're going to just go in there and sack the shit out of them because that offensive line's so bad. Two is definitely not what you have in mind.
Yeah.
They punted the ball 3 times. It really felt less than that to me, but they punted 3 times. We punted twice. Penalties certainly went in their favor, Mike, as they were penalized 4 times for 35 yards. We were penalized 7 times for 59 yards. There was no fumbles. We did have the 2 interceptions thrown. They had none. Not having any turnovers for them is a big thing as well. And then time of possession, as I said, almost a 10-minute difference, which is an extreme difference in the NFL. The Cincinnati Bengals 34-32 against the Steelers 25-28 in time of possession. And again, in the NFL, that's a pretty big margin, and that tells me that you're not able to get off the field. So again, the numbers are very accurate as far as the way the game played out. Let's look at some more individual numbers, Mike, and we'll get into a lot of these storylines and things that are also being talked about this morning. Aaron Rodgers goes 23 for 34 for 249 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I'm satisfied with what Aaron Rodgers did. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That one interception, that's on the receiver. That other one, yeah, he threw into bad coverage. But outside of that one bad coverage interception, I thought he played a fantastic.
Oh, he played great again, Mike. 14 touchdowns in 6 games. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jalen Warren, Mike, 16 carries, 127 yards, 7.9 yards a carry.
We'll take that.
We'll take that. Mike, leading the way. Again, Pat Freiermuth, a big night, which I was thinking it should have came a while back, but they finally decided to start throwing it to him. 5 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns late in the game to put the Steelers back in it. DK had 3 catches for 50 yards. Jalen Warren had 4 catches, 31. Jonnu Smith had 3 catches for 1 touchdown. Roman Wilson, 2 catches for 17, and he jumped over another man. I'm going to make sure I not bring that up for the rest of my life because the guy is going out there and playing hard. Matter of fact, I don't think he's dropped anything that's been thrown to him, regular season or preseason.
No.
Scotty Miller even gets involved with a catch for 9. Darnell, who they wanted more involved, 3 catches for 2 yards.
And a touchdown.
Darnell Washington was 1 touchdown there. Gainwell, 2 catches for 1 yard. And that Meatwad, he's on the stat sheet, but it's a 0 for 0. And then as far as the defense goes, Mike, Deshaun Elliott has 9 total tackles, 6 solo, 3 assisted. Not much to show for anything extra. Keanu Benton did have a sack early. And again, Cam Hayward and TJ share a sack early. As far as the return game goes, Mike, Keshawn Williams and Kenneth Gainwell, they both returned roughly about 30 yards, averaging roughly 30 yards for both of those guys on kickoff returns. And Keshawn Williams did return 2 punts for 27 yards. Chris Boswell got back on, broke the schneid, Mike, and got back in after missing a field goal last game. He did not miss yesterday. He goes 1 for 1. Carlos Waitman looking good as well. Let me jump over and take a look at what the Bengals did. Unfortunately, we're going to look at that again, or look at that as well. The Bengals, Joe Flacco, 31 of 47. Got to remember, even Dylan Gabriel put up 53 passes against the Steelers last week. So something's got to give here. 31 for 47 for 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's a good game.
Yeah, damn good game.
Chase Brown, the running back, the worst running game in the league.
How?
The highest paid, most superstar-filled defense in the league. This should be a no-brainer. Chase Brown, 11 carries, 108 yards.
Yeah.
That's 9.8 yards a carry. Almost 10 yards. I mean, come on. That's freakish. Let's look at the receivers.
Unacceptable.
Speaking of freakish, let's look at what the wide receivers did. Jamar Chase, 16 catches. You didn't know where that ball was going, did you? I put 11 guys on him. And the thing was, Mike, when they did double down on him, the white guy, the tight end, he caught a ball down the middle of the field. It was like it broke our back. But let's continue right here. Chase, Mike, 16 catches, 161 yards, 1 touchdown. T. Higgins, 6 catches, 96 yards, 1 touchdown. Fant, 4 catches, 1 touchdown. And their defense, Barrett Carter, Mike, had 12 total tackles, 8 solo, 4 assisted. Battle had an interception. DJ Turner had an interception. And again, Mike, no sacks on our offense. So the quick delivery offense, it worked for us as well. It wasn't just working for Joe Flacco. There were returners. They had average days. Mike, they did not have one single punt return. Their field goal kicker going 4 for 4 on the evening. That's how the numbers break down, guys. So the Icy Hot Bowl, which is what they were officially calling it on the air. I thought that maybe this was just kind of something that was a tongue-in-cheek on the side. They were literally, during the broadcast, calling it the Icy Hot Bowl.
You know who coined it the Icy Hot Bowl was Clam.
Was it?
Yeah, like Aaron Rodgers being interviewed. He walked by. He was like, hey, man, we got the Icy Hot Bowl.
Now, Mike, this is the fourth oldest quarterback matchup of the year. The top oldest being between Tom Brady and Drew Brees. They were a combined total of 84 years old. The second is Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers when they were a combined total of 83 years old. Brett Favre versus Vinny Testaverde.
Oh, wow.
Coming in at number 3 when they were a combined of 82. And this one, Mike, is the fourth oldest game between two starting quarterbacks. It was 81, but again, 84, 83, and 82 were combined ahead of this one. So
not a bad performance for the old guys.
No, you're right. The old guys seem to be getting it done.
It shows if you still have it up here and you still have the physical tools to get the ball out quick, you can be a successful quarterback for an extended period of time in the NFL. You might not be what you once were, but you can sit back and pick apart these defenses because the league, wants to see passing, and it's tailored for a passing league. And if you can still process the defense quickly, find your matchups, find soft spots in the zone, you can have a long career in the NFL. Now, Flacco's not going to be an everyday starter, but he's a damn good backup to have on your team.
Listen,
like these old cats, man. Even Jared Goff, or not Jared Goff, but what's his name out in LA now? Stafford. With the bad back and shit, he's still out there picking people apart.
Mike, how about this? This is a combined total between Chase and Higgins. You want to hear this combined number?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
This is Chase and Higgins. They're two wide receivers. This is what we brought in the big guns. This is what we paid out mad money. This is what we made a bunch of trades for. Guys, this is how Jamar Chase and T. Higgins played, Mike, and this is the results. 22 catches. This is one football game.
Yeah.
22 catches, Mike, 257 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns on 33 targets.
Damn.
You don't win many games, and that's just that. That doesn't include, again, the running game, which was almost 10 yards a carry.
That's nuts. Doesn't this game, or didn't this game remind you of the Steelers-Bengals game 1 last year, where it was a shootout?
1917.
That was the last game.
Oh, where the Steelers won?
Yeah, the Steelers won. The Steelers won last year in the first matchup.
What was the score of that?
I can't remember the score, but it was a shootout. It was like in the 30s, I think, and it was a shootout. We happened to win that one. Then we had the 1917 game or whatever it was, and they ended up winning that one. So this one had the feel of last year.
It doesn't. If that answers your question, just because I don't remember it, but I don't doubt you. I think that you're probably remembering something there. But Mike, also the bad news. While taking a loss, and Aaron had a good game, this was the game that I dreaded, and this goes all the way back from whenever they brought him here, Mike. This was the game that he passed Big Ben.
Yep.
So it was a loss. It was a loss for long-term Steeler fans who like Ben and not the 1-year rental. And but Aaron Rodgers did eventually last night pass Big Ben. Mike, he is now the 5th all-time passing leader in history of the NFL, which knocks Ben down to 6. Which, come on, is no it's no slouch.
No,
we'll take 5, we'll take 6. But again, our career guy got passed last night by our temp, Mike, for 5th all time in the passing list. For
Big Ben to be tied at 5th when he retired on a supposed run-oriented defensive team, not bad for Big Ben. But last year, Ryan, it was 44-38 in the first matchup between the Steelers and the Bengals.
We won that.
Yeah, we won that. It just had that feel to it. So maybe the rubber match or the rematch between us this year, it will be a tight game, and we win that one. Let's flip the script.
Well, it will be at home and it won't be on Thursday night. So those are two things
Good,
we have going
really
for
good
us.
chance then. Really good chance then.
Mike, one more point, and then we are going to get back to the board, and then we do have to get our our grades in for the week and game ball. If you could even, I can think of a game.
Yeah, there's a couple people
against the offense look very, very good. Mike, one more thing, the flea flicker debacle. Everybody on the team thought it was a flea flicker except for the quarterback.
Yeah,
is that what? Am I understanding that right?
That's my understanding. Everyone was like, "Yeah, it was a flea flicker," and Aaron's like, "No, it wasn't." So usually, like if the quarterback and the running back have the disagreement on it, you kind of side the quarterback. But if you look at guys are running routes, the line is blocking as it's like a flea flicker. It's a flea flicker, Aaron. It was a flea flicker. You fucked up, bro. It happens to the best of us.
So if you want to take anything away from the offense last night, I guess you could say one of the interceptions, maybe the flea flicker debacle. But besides for that, the offense, they looked well. They did, Mike, and I don't have a lot to say. Again, a 4-touchdown performance from your quarterback is always going to be a good game in my book. And the fact that you scored over 30 points and still lost the football game does tell you, it speaks volumes. You're trying to figure it out.
On the offense, 2 real big penalties when we had to kick the field goal to make it 10-0. Frazier on the hold, or I think he had the hold, then we get back, and then 4th and 1, getting ready to go for it, and McCormick jumps off sides. Like, we had to settle for a field goal. If we convert that, maybe get a touchdown there, that's 4 points. That's the difference of a game right there. So those little mistakes early in the game could come back and bite you in the ass. And for a team that's been really good, not getting penalized these last 2 weeks, they're starting to slip. And that false start, man, you had to know Aaron was going to go hard count, and why fucking jump?
All right, man, we're going to get back at it. Let's go right here. Big Pun says that somber Tomlin thinks. I don't think Tomlin is capable of putting together a well-thought-out
God damn. Shots fired today.
Mr. Tummy says we also have to remember that rock star players don't want to come to the Steel. You're right, because this is where you come to play football. There's no Miami nightlife. There's no California beaches. You come to Pittsburgh, you're here to play football, man. Christopher, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Christopher on the board. He says, guys, they are too damn stubborn. Keanu Benton is not a nose tackle. We need a wide receiver 2 that is a threat that could help free up DK. Because again, if you're going to go to DK as much, you have to be able to create separation. And when the first 5 games, that was where the ball was going all the time. Again, last night, getting some more of the receiving room, and it worked. So if anybody is complaining to saying any of those other guys weren't good enough, they had monster numbers as well. So we will see if that changes. Christopher's moving forward. Hopefully, again, we're going to have to. We got some searching to do, man. 6 games down, 11 to go. A lot of football. Hopefully, we can figure it out. Echelon Motion Pictures, my man. Always great seeing you on the terrible board as well. Welcome. He says, team same as last year, just different players, and Cam Hayward, old as dirt. And keep talking about A-Rod, but the oldest man on the team is keeping them alive. Defense sucks. Go get a wide receiver 2 and D lineman. A lot said, and I think there's a lot of accuracy in that for sure. Great having you and great comment. Big Pun says, at Corey, can Con fix this? It was Con who put everything together, the ragtag, overpriced, overrated defense together. We're certainly seeing, Big Pun. I mean, if that's going to be the case, it'll certainly reveal itself. Again, I tend to think that Jalen Ramsey and Slay and Porter will be okay once they're not facing Jamar Chase. I don't know if there's anybody on the planet that could get that guy under control. But again, we'll certainly, it's duly noted. We'll be paying attention from here on to see if this is a problem that's fixable for the Steeler team or not. Echelon Motion Picture says, tell your $40 million man to impact the game more and tell your $33 million wide receiver to secure the catch.
Exactly.
John says, BP, nothing happens without Tomlin's approval. Con is only part of the formula. Big Pun says TJ Watt making $42 million, taking snaps off on the sideline, watching the D get lit up. And Mike, that's been an argument how long now? A lot of times in crunch time, where do they show TJ Watt? Standing on the sideline, rubbing at his elbows and arms and everything else.
He's over there sucking air. Has he got the cardiovascular system of a toddler with asthma?
Echelon says offense better than the defense. There is no more debating it. We complained all offseason about Broderick, but guess what? He ain't the problem. Imagine that.
He's not.
I mean, all the way until he tackles our 50-year-old quarterback and injures him. But no, you're right, dude. I'm pleasantly surprised with what's going on this offense. Again,
me too.
Mike, you're putting 30 points up again in a loss. This was not their fault.
And they did pretty well against one of the better defenses too last week against the Browns and against Minnesota. That coming into that game was like, oh my God, they do all this exotic looks on defense. What's Pittsburgh going to do? And kind of carved them up. So the offense is going to end up being the strength of this team, and I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Tyrone says maybe this is what we needed. I think you do need to get your ass kicked, just like in life. Sometimes you need your ass whooped. And, maybe that's what we did. It's just going to see how we respond from here on out. Is it going to make us tougher?
And one thing I noticed in this game, too, it didn't look like we were overlooking the Bengals. Like a lot of people were fearing, like, oh, they're going to look ahead to Green Bay. And it's like they just got beat. It wasn't their night.
Are we going to get tougher? Or is this going to be what is this going to be what breaks us? We're going to have to see, guys. Let me go right here. All right, Corey says it's okay, guys. We're going to rattle off 6 games in a row and collapse later. We will win one more game than last year. So that's going to put us at 11-6. Corey got us at.
Hey, that's where I think I had us this year. Was my ceiling was 11 wins. So I'll be spot on. I'll take it.
Somber says $41 million to get strapped by the second rookie tackle this year. He had one-on-one chances too. I don't want to hear about chips and doubles. Again, I think what was the strength was of that offensive line was they didn't really have to block too long. He got that ball out like Aaron Rodgers fast a lot of the night, and I think that played to their advantage, and it kept us off their ass. I mean, we just weren't getting in the backfield. We weren't getting the opportunity. I think that was probably by design. So again, Christopher said Ramsey should have covered Higgins, and we should have bracketed Chase. Tyrone says, I agree. Somber, Watt, and Douche. He didn't. He had a half sack early, but again, in the context of the game in its entirety, it was very, very, very minuscule. And, again, it didn't do anything for the game. Mark Malone says, I've been looking into that today, Mike. Mark Malone also says, I'm looking at the Falcon dust off from the dollar store or the Dollar General.
You never know. The Dollar General stuff might hit hard and get you where you need to get to.
Corey says Christophus did cover Higgins and got burnt by him. He looked like a bum all game. It's DJ. Welcome to the board. Great seeing you on the terrible board. He says drop the link. Let's see. Christophus says Corey. Then it's time to put him at safety. Tyrone, it was hard to sleep. It was hard to sleep last night. Chase caught another one.
He's still catching passes.
I know. Fielder still says, you know what, Ryan? Bank it. Steelers 3, Packers 2. Boz wins that. Christopher says, too many old guys in our secondary, guys. Where's Corey Trice? Wouldn't be nice. It wouldn't hurt to have a young body in there, right? Got a bunch of veterans that
it might hurt Corey Trice, though, to have Corey Trice in the game.
Yeah.
That's my concern. But
Mark Malone says nursing a hammy again. To Corey, probably. How many bad hammies can a guy have? Jamal says, I just had feed Ramsey and Slay lunch in the nursing home. Phil says, I wonder outcome if Rodgers doesn't throw those 2 interceptions. Flacco, no interceptions. Phil's saying also. Phil also says 2 picks gave Bengals 14 points. Okay, Mike, one of those was, and you know what? Ford's fault. And you know what? That was one thing that we did say on yesterday's show. The Steelers didn't give up any points off of turnovers yet this season.
Yeah.
And that happened last night again. Two times, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but the quarterback who threw those 2 picks comes down, engineers a 68-yard touchdown pass at the tight end to get the lead, and then the highest paid defense in the league immediately allows Cincinnati to walk down the field, kick game-winning field goal.
Corey says at Christophus, I'm down to do whatever works. Echelon Motion Pitcher says we have to stop saying this defense has superstars. They are old. A bunch of has-beens with a sprinkle of youth. CR, welcome to the show. I do want to say welcome to the terrible board. He says Rodgers can't make DK hold on to the ball.
Yeah, he can. Aaron Rodgers has to run over there and tell him, DK, hold the ball. Hold the ball.
I'm sure he does anyway. Phil the Steel says, dang, Ryan, where am I getting feedback? Is that me or what the hell is that?
I don't know. Could be you.
I don't even know what it's coming from. That's Phil the Steel says, dang, Ryan, secondary coach must suck with opponents, wide receivers numbers you're giving. 22 catches between these two guys, 200, almost 300 yards. 22 catches, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns on 33 targets. Tyrone says Herbig only played 38 snaps. I did see that.
Yeah, that he needed to play a whole hell of a lot more.
But again, with that style of play, I don't know if there's anything that anybody could have did. It's why we're not getting sacked. It's why we're having success as well. Christopher says they played scared. They did play scared. They didn't blitz. They did not blitz more than 5. We did not see the Blitzburg we saw in the last 2 games. Fear of Flacco. This stinks of Tomlin. And if you know what, if he wouldn't have came out last week and said everything that he said, people would still be doubting it. I think that speaks volumes. The fact that he kind of came out and cried about what happened. Who cares what everybody else is doing? I thought we weren't caring what everybody else is doing. Wasn't that the quote last week? We don't care what anybody's doing. We're going to do what we do. But last week we were surely caring what the Cleveland Browns were doing. And the Bengals. Oh man, Mark Malone says did Testaverde ever play Flutie in their 40s? I'm not sure.
Oh God,
they very well could have, because I think Flutie was in Buffalo when Testaverde was at the Jets. So it's very possible they might even be on that list. I just didn't go far enough to see. Tortilla says our defense looked like Penn State. I'm keeping clear again. I'm giving them their chance. They got Iowa tomorrow, and again,
we're losing out. I can't say we anymore. I'm in the portal. I'm in the
interim coach, Mike. I think you should give him a little bit of a chance, because the interim coach was born in Aliquippa. He grew up and went to McKeesport.
I know,
but he was Aliquippa born, Mike. So maybe give him a little bit more of a chance. I think whatever Franklin did is unfixable. There are already 3 games lost. You're not going to do much with this, but you know,
it's just it was coaching malpractice on Franklin's part.
Absolutely, for years it's been.
Yeah, and who is it? Terry Smith, who's taken over. He helped recruit a lot of those guys to come there, and I think they're going to. Hopefully, they rally around him. But I don't even know who Penn State's quarterback is at this point.
Oh, I seen it. You know what it is? It's Ethan Grunkemeyer.
Oh God.
Ethan Grunkemeyer is your new quarterback for the rest of the season.
You can't wait. No, if he was a tight end, I'm happy with a guy named Grunkemeyer. I don't want a Grunkemeyer as my quarterback.
Grunkmeyers always end up being failures. Guys with names like that always end up being failures at quarterback. How many Grunkmeyers have you ever seen winning Super Bowl MVP? I've never seen a Grunkmeyer.
No. I hope he comes out and totally shocks me, but it ain't going to happen.
Not bloody likely.
Not bloody likely.
Kenneth says people don't want it to be so, but our linebackers are one of our weaknesses in coverage and run support. Mark Malone, they've changed the rules in favor of running quarterbacks nowadays, though. Follows it up by saying, I don't know why. They want to see that high scorer crap in the NFL. It's just like the chicks dig the long ball. It makes money. It's action. People want more action. And again, at the end of the day, we're not that team. We're a team that we're happy winning 10-9. You know, historically. And again,
it used to be defensive battles, man. People used to love to watch that.
When the hell have you seen a defensive battle last? And it's not because the defenses are good; it's because offenses stink when it's low scoring games.
Yeah.
Mike Cara, what's up, bro? Always great seeing you on the terrible board. He says, "I'm sick." Field of Steel says 7 got 2 for Steeler Nation. Tyrone said, I had so many people talking shit to me. I believe it, dude. I'm seeing it online. I'm going to try to avoid it at all costs today if I can. And, you know, it's these Bengal fans who never won anything. So you have to take that into consideration.
Exactly.
You were,
you won the game.
You literally historically have the best team. I wouldn't let it get to you too much. The Bengals are better than everybody at getting nothing done.
Yeah.
They've made 3 trips to the Super Bowl. They've never won. They're always a bad team. Let them talk their shit. Whatever. We'll get them.
Hey, you beat us this week. Hey, more power to you. This was your Super Bowl. It was another game to us. We'll move on.
Just don't let us see you. Don't let us see you again, motherfuckers. We'll get them.
Hopefully.
Mike Harris says, I said trade TJ before the season while he was worth something. They should have listened. Field of Steel overall grade C. Field of Steel also says game ball goes to Muth. Tyrone says that hole was so stupid. Mike Harris says the interception to DK wasn't an interception. I know we're ripping it out of their hands and they're not giving it to us. They're ripping it out of our hands. I mean, it was. You're right, but again, the defense is to blame for me. Let's see. Tortilla also says just because we lost the Bengals doesn't mean we should trade it to TJ. He says, "Come on, bro, still king of the North." And we are, guys. We're still in first place. We're still in a good position. We're 4-2. The Ravens are 1-5. I mean, obviously, because we just got our asses beat by them, we shouldn't be worrying about the Bengals as much as we are. Were you worrying about them before this game? I wasn't. Again, because why? They're the Bengals. Yes, they beat us. Yes, the Bengals beat us before. Yes, John Kitna threw for 500 yards against us before. We get over it. We find ways to get back in it. We beat the Bengals. We'll move on. It was rough though. As said on the board, Mike, I think Mike Carroll said he's sick, man. It's that kind of vibe, bro. We have to get through this weekend and watch other teams, and then a 10-day wait. It's going to be a long 10 days, but we're going to do what we can. Everything we can do right here to make that a little bit easier. Tortilla, I'm sorry, Mark Malone says the D got jizzed on every play, Mike.
They did. It's like a bukkake out there.
It's like the yes, it was like the bukkake. It was like the raw dog, and that they were saying that we were going to do. We got raw dog. Mark Malone says you want to talk about 2-0 penalty. Oh, 2 offensive penalties. Is that maybe where he's going with that?
Well, I thought, they don't hold. We're not back 10 yards. We're close to the end zone. We don't jump off sides on 4th and 1. We convert. We can get a touchdown. That's 4 points right there we can add. I'm not blaming it for the loss. I'm just saying little stupid things like that add up throughout a game.
Solo Dolo Steeler, welcome to the show. Great to have you on the board. Solo Dolo Steeler says, I think we'll be fine. Been a confusing couple of weeks. I think we'll bounce back. And we will. It's just, these ones are rough, man. I would really like to get this win, and I know everybody else would have, and unfortunately it didn't happen. So, but we'll bounce back. Green Bay is going to be a big one, man. We got 10 days to prep for it, and the last time we had extra days to prep, we did pretty good. So let's hope this is the same, because Green Bay won't have that same period of time to prepare for us. They'll have 6 days, whatever. But so that should play in our advantage, guys. Field of Steel says, yeah, it's all Watt's fault for the last 5 seasons. Yes, Watt sucks, not the coaching. Tyrone says we're going to be good for real. We do this every year. Lose to a team we should. You're right. We went on and on and on about how it could have happened last week against Cleveland. I don't know why I'm so shocked that it happened this week against Joe Flacco and the Bengals. But you're right. Solo Dolo Steeler also says even if we make no moves before the deadline, I think we're fine. Chase and Higgins are a hard matchup, and I excuse the bad defensive performance. No, we just got cooked. It's okay. Packers next. Here we go. And that's the attitude. There's nothing else we could really do, right? I mean, that's our choices. Let's get ready for the Packers, and Solo Dolo is speaking some truth and making a lot of sense. Field of Steel says, Mike, I'm watching you, Mike, and I'm being patient. Mike Carra says, no, we're not fine, obviously. Ashland Motion Picture says, next time you play the Bengals, they need to put Joey Porter Jr. on Chase and shade over the top with Slay or a safety and make Ramsey line up on Higgins. That should have been the game plan. Corey Beavers, Mike, we're going to get we're almost through these, and we're going to get to some grades here in just a minute. Corey says this, I predicted we'd split the division no matter what, so we're still on track. And again, we're still not in a bad place. We took a loss, and, it happens all the time. It happens every year. Kenneth says I would start Holcomb over Queen. It's not like Queen can cover anyone, and Holcomb would be more of a gap sound and a better tackler. You know what? Queen's another one, week to week. I loved Queen last week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's week to week with him. It's almost like with Roderick Jones in my example with
That's a sketch.
the Etch-a-Sketch. It's almost like that with Patrick Queen, and I didn't expect this from him. Phil still says Mikey threw 2 interceptions.
He threw 4 touchdowns. Put up 31 or put up 33 or put up 31 points. What TJ Watt do?
Tyrone says one was on DK. Echelon says
Exactly.
grab Desmond Watson from the Buccaneers practice squad. Tortilla says should have been 1 pick. DK was put out of bounds. Soladolo Steelers says 1 pick was bad. Other was a good play. We got, absolutely. Mark Malone, I think the Tomlin Tating may be taking hold of our DBs already. The great secondary master struck again. I would like to see some more better answers from him, just with the history, of course. I mean, again, he won a Super Bowl as a DB assistant coach. Kenneth says, I know we scored too quick on the go ahead. I mean, me too. We scored way too quick. And as it's happening, I'm thinking, slow down. But then on the other hand, you don't want to slow down to the point where it messes up your momentum. So what do?
There's no guarantee you're going to score if you take your time.
I know.
Get the points when you can get the points.
That's usually my motto.
Because you never know what could be a bad snap, could be bad penalties, and next thing you know, you're having to settle for a field goal and having to kick off to them, and hopefully your defense can get another stop so you can go back again. It's just get the points when you can get the points. That's always been my philosophy, but I do know what you mean. You kind of want to bleed the clock if you can.
Getting a little chippy this morning. This afternoon, I guess. Phyllis Steele says, all right, y'all, according to Mike, it's okay to throw picks instead of getting points on the board. Okay.
Hey, the offense put up 31 points, baby, and that defense gave up 33.
Tyrone says, but thought we pull a Jets moment. Mark Malone says a Sandusky special, Mike. Sandusky special.
Yeah, it was. I
don't know what that means, but I know that it's not directed toward me, so I'm just going to leave it right there. Phyllis Steele says, Guzafraba Steele. It's only Mike. Guzafraba. I'm not sure what that means.
I have no idea.
Mark Malone says, not high scoring, LOL, high school retarded offenses. Tyrone, we still 4-2, and we're going to be just fine. That's kind of, that's the way we're going to have to rationalize, guys, and get ready and move on. We are still 4-2. We're in a good spot. We're in first place. We're number 3 overall in the AFC, so we know what our weakness is. Fixing it is the next step, and seeing how we react and respond. Somber said it was a proper jizzing for sure. Field of Steel says no Mike shit on the defense and erased the 2 interceptions.
Not erasing them, pointing out that he did throw 2, but he came back and put up a lot of points. You're the one trying to erase 33 points the defense gave up.
Follows up by saying, I know, Mike, I know. Get off Teflon Don. I know he's your god.
Hey, and I know TJ Watt's your god, but you're right.
All right, we got to get through these. Like, we really got to get through these messages if we want to get the grades today. I know you do. Tyrone says, we'll see you then in a few weeks. Sommer says, Ramsey is too slow to be an outside cornerback. He's proved that this year. Leave him in the box for over the top. Nickel or safety, Tyrone is saying. Echelon Notion pitchers to think that our tight end room is the best group is insane. But again, defense, trash ass. Defense is Swiss cheese, and Cam is moldy Wonder Bread. Shows his age more than Rodgers.
Moldy Wonder Bread.
Tortilla says Osama bin Tom when they hit the second wide receiver. Somber says the Steelers aren't good enough to lose the turnover battle and win. We've known that for years. And finally, Corey says, I think the reason we're all pissed, even though this is same shit, different years, because this isn't the same inept offense like we had in the past. The offense can finally hang on to help carry weight. Follows it up by saying, and then we shit the bed on defense. So it feels like teeter-totter. We play great here and then play bad there. Then we play great there and then play bad here. It's never ending. It feels like, Mike, that just takes us right into the grade segment of the show. We're going to grade every position group as they do in school, Mike, A, B, C, D, F. You know the way the show goes. We're going to go through them, and then we're going to give a game ball. Whether you believe we deserve one or not, somebody's going to get a game ball from the Steelers for their performance last night as we are rounding third here of the show, Mike. So let's get to it. As far as grades, let's talk about the quarterback. Let's talk about Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about 4 touchdowns. Let's talk about 200. What did he have? 249 yards. Mike, what do you give the quarterback of the Steelers last night for his performance on your weekly grades?
I'm going to go B+. Outside of the one forced interception, I thought he played a hell of a game. He was out there running around like a spring chicken, man. He had some giddy up in his step. What can you say, man? He made plays when we needed to. I thought he played an excellent game, man.
All right, Tyrone's
anytime you put up 31 points, you've had a good game.
Tyrone's agreeing with you. He says B+. Let's go to the running back room, Mike. Of course, Jaylen Warren, 16 carries, 7.9 average for 127 yards. No touchdowns out of the backfield, but nonetheless, Mike, 16 carries, 127, and then Gainwell, 3 carries, 14 yards. Aaron Rodgers, the only other player that did run the ball, was 1 carry for 6 yards. Certainly wasn't on the tush-push play, but he did manage to get 6. Mike, what do you give the running back room?
I'm going to go with an A here. I thought the numbers speak volumes. The film backs it up, how well Jaylen Warren was running the ball. They did good in pass pro, too. I'm giving them an A. More or less giving Jaylen Warren an A.
All right. Let's move on to the tight ends. Mike, they made the difference. Of course, Pat Freiermuth, 5 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mike, he averaged 22.2 yards per catch on his 5 catches.
Yeah.
The other guys as well, Mike, we're going to talk about Jonnu Smith with 3 catches, 28 yards, 1 touchdown. He had a 9.3 average per catch. Darnell Washington, a little bit lower the numbers today than we would like to see. But even Meat Wad, he got a little bit of action. Mike, what do you give the tight ends for the performance last night? Tyrone went A+ on the running backs, and I think he's given an A+ on the tight ends as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to give an A for the tight ends. I'll give it out any A+ this week since we lost.
Yeah,
feels weird giving it out. Like I want to give out A+. I do, but I'm just going to go A's because I'm a little down. But yeah, all the touchdowns accounted for were from the tight end room, man. They played out. We were waiting to see Pat Freiermuth play like this, and like the coaching staff was saying, man, it's been, Pat hasn't done anything wrong. It's just been
Mike. All 4 touchdowns were of tight end passes, tight end catches. 2 Pat Freiermuth, 1 Jonnu Smith, and the Darnell Washington. All
Darnell
4.
Washington had the Jerome Bettis stat line almost.
He did.
It was perfect. Yes, they get an A.
I think everybody on the board's agreeing with you here. We got B+. Echelon says running backs A-, quarterback B+, O-line B, tight ends A. Also, he's going with that. Let's go to the wide receiver room, Mike. There's not much of a room when you're talking about wide receivers in Pittsburgh, but the lead head guy, of course, again with 3 catches and 50 yards on the night. Let me look here. Also, Roman Wilson, he does get a little bit, Mike. 2 catches, 17 yards. He jumped over a guy. I'm never going to bring that up ever again.
Right.
Scotty Miller gets 1 catch, 9 yards. Mike, 3 wide receivers catch balls last night for a total of 8 catches and 125 yards, give or take. What do you give this wide receiver room for their grade? Tyrone's saying a C.
Yeah, DK is going to bring down that grade. You can't allow that to happen on the sideline. You outmuscle that guy.
As big and strong as he is, too,
falling down in the end zone like that. Where you try to draw a pass interference call, they don't call those on Hail Marys. Yeah, they're dragging them down. Yeah, the unexciting whites didn't do anything. So, a C. A C. But Roman Wilson, I'm giving Roman Wilson himself a B+.
Yeah,
not getting down. He
like what Somber's saying here. Mike Somber's saying Muth sighting and Roman sighting. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, we said last week jokingly that they're so white that they're transparent. Maybe they're just not being seen out there.
Yeah, they got some color back into them. We were able to find them and see them,
Wide receivers for Echelon Motion Pictures. He says C+. We don't have enough to grade them. Yeah, I mean, it's almost incomplete, right?
Yeah.
And then Somber says that last catch from Roman was nice too. You know what? And the one that got called back, but I have not seen Roman do anything bad.
Yeah.
Like he catches everything that's thrown to him. He appears to be undersized, but the guy literally plays his ass off. I don't know why he doesn't get more looks. Let's move.
Hopefully this builds to see more of him in the offense, even if we go out and get someone. There's a
Hard to
place
tell.
for him in the. There's a place for him in the offense.
Like, there's a place for everybody in this offense. There's just some reason we don't use everybody correctly.
He could be that third down guy.
I mean, we obviously
go-
there was no room for Pat Fryermuth for the first 5 games. And look, he comes out last night, 111 yards on 5 catches, 22 yards per reception. I mean, these are top tight end numbers. Like 2 touchdowns on the night. You might as well call him Kelsey after this game.
Yeah, that's what he was looking like. He was looking like a younger Travis Kelsey.
And he was transparent for the first 5 weeks. So there's room for more on this offense. No two ways about it. Mike, offensive line. Now, the offensive line did not let Aaron Rodgers for a second week get sacked.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big thing, especially all the concerns going into the season with the offensive line being young, still need to get together. The injuries, coming off of injuries with Fatanu and Broderick Jones, obviously, with all his issues, Mike. Offensive line, how are we going to grade these guys? Because our running back, he did run for 16 times for 127 yards, Mike, which is also a 7.9 average, which is extraordinary. What do you give this offensive line? Tyrone's saying a B-.
I'm going to go B+, A- in that range.
Okay.
Like, they were opening up holes. They were given time. There was some pressure on there, but Aaron was able to get out. The linemen were helping him even when they got beat by just trying to angle the guy to give Rodgers time. But I'm going to go with I'm going to go A-. I'm feeling generous for the O-line because I'm liking the way they improved. Yes, I was harping on them on those 2 penalties.
Wait, what did you give them?
I'm going to go A-.
Okay.
I'm feeling generous for them.
I do want to say, go ahead.
I'm liking the O-line.
I just want to highlight that Somber's last message, he says Artie is in love with the big packages. Let's move on, guys. Over to the defense.
To each their own, Artie.
We got to go defensive line, Mike. We're talking Cam Hayward. We're talking Keanu Benton. We're talking rookie Derek Harmon. We're talking defensive line. These are the grades that I think are probably going to start moving south now that we're on the defensive side of the ball, Mike. What do you give the defensive line?
A big, fat F.
Really? An F? I guess, well, look at everything they did, right? The running yards, the passing yards. Okay, fair.
And then outside of that Keanu Benton sack.
Tyrone says a Z. He wants to give him a Z. Mike, we do got to move on. Let's move to the linebacker room, of course, here on the show. We clump them all together, outside linebackers, inside linebackers. So we're talking Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, Cole Holcomb, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, TJ Watt. Mike, what do you give this group of linebackers for their performance last night in Cincinnati?
F-.
Wow. All right. Somber as well is giving out F- and Z's for Tyrone. Mike, finally, the defensive backfield. Again, we clump. So it's going to be your corners. It's going to be your safeties. It's going to be all these guys, your 3-headed monster, the historically best defense of all time that was touted before the season, Mike. All these additions in the secondary. They got sliced up. Mike, this defense between 2 guys, the secondary gave up 22 receptions for 257 yards and 2 touchdowns. You didn't not know that the ball was going to these 2 gentlemen. With that being said, what do you grade the secondary with?
A big old jizz-covered F-.
Jeez.
That one's for you, Mark.
It's covered in jizz. We know it's for Mark Malone.
We don't know whose jizz it is. We don't know if it's human, animal.
Any
we don't ask questions.
There's spray paint or jizz. We know it's all going to Mark.
Somber thing. Jizz and trannies. Was it
tranny jizz? Trannies as well. Somber says D for the players, F for the scheme. Okay. Okay. Mike, now the extras, special teams. We had nice returns.
Yes, we did.
Kashawn and let's see, Kashawn had on kickoff returns, Mike, he returned 3 balls for 91 yards for an average of 30.3. And Kenneth Gainwell, Mike, 3 returns for 88 yards, an average of 29.3, which is good. 30 yards on return for kickoffs. And then punt returns, Kashawn Williams, 2 for 27, return average of 13.5 yards per return. Mike, what do you give special teams? Again, Boz, he doesn't miss anything last night. Corliss is, kicking the hell out of the ball. How do you grade the special teams?
The special teams, I gotta take a look real quick. One second, kick returns. Yeah, I'm gonna give them
Did you
A
literally just
minus.
look up what I just told you?
No. I looked at the
Okay.
Bengals kick returns because I
Okay.
couldn't remember how they fared.
Okay. All right.
Fuck, I'm gonna go A minus. I'm feeling generous towards special teams.
Mike,
'Cause,
coaching is the next on the
ooh,
agenda. And now we're
ooh,
talking. Listen, before you throw a grade out there, we're not only talking Terrell Austin, we're not only talking Coach
I
Tomlin,
know,
we're also
I
talking Arthur
know.
Smith and Danny Smith here. So
Yeah,
you got to think. What do we grade? How do you grade this team, special teams wise? I just want to throw out Tyrone is saying a B for the special teams, and I couldn't agree more. Somber Williams looks really nice out there. Mike,
yeah.
what do you give the special teams
The special teams, I gave them an A minus already.
or coaching? I'm sorry.
Coaching. I'm gonna go. We're putting everything together here. I'm gonna go with a C minus.
Okay. And finally, Mike, overall, you just take it all and clump it together. The good play of the offense, the bad play of the defense, the coaching, a few things here, a few things there. Joe Flacco, the Bengals, Thursday night, the record, uh, 3-game winning streak broke. A whole little bit of everything in this game, Mike.
Yeah,
The white uniforms, we get to wear the black on the road. Mike, just overall, what do you grade the Steelers' performance?
a collective C minus.
All right.
And special teams and offense doing a whole hell lot of heavy lifting for
Okay.
that C minus to get us a passing grade.
All right, Mike. Now we have to know who got your game ball for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It could be anybody. It could be Zach Frazier, whoever you thought earned your game ball last night, Mike. Who got the game ball?
I'm splitting the game ball in half. I'm going to Pat Fryermuth and half of the exciting whites, Roman Wilson. They been much maligned. Pat Fryermuth had a hell of a game. Roman Wilson, like we said, anytime his number's been called, he's been there. I'm giving them the game ball because they showed up when we needed. Yes, I could have given it to Aaron Rodgers, Broderick Jones, Jalen Warren, but those two guys right there who we've all been shitting.
Got your answer.
I'm sorry.
No. Just
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying because on the board here, Tyrone's saying Muth, Somber's saying Warner Muth.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, some of these guys on offense could easily. Warren again, Mike, 16 carries, 127 yards. Rodgers, 4 touchdowns thrown. Pat Fryermuth's late jump in the game, giving him a total of 111 yards and the 2 touchdowns that got us back in it. It's a difficult pick, but any one of these guys, Mike, I really feel could be your game ball. I'm gonna give mine. Listen, I'm going to give mine to the quarterback because he did have another 4 touchdown game, Mike. I could have easily given it to these other guys. I could have easily given it to Warren. I could have easily given it to Pat. I could have easily given it to but for the sake of 4 touchdowns, he is the leader. And again, are we this far where we're at without Aaron Rodgers? Go back to any of the quarterbacks that we had over the past half dozen seasons. So for that reason and that reason alone is why I'm choosing Aaron Rodgers. I think ultimately he's kind of keeping this thing going in the big picture. He is the leader of this team. He managed to go out and throw 4 touchdowns and go tit for tat with Joe Flacco, who, as well as he threw, only had 3 touchdowns. So for these reasons and these reasons only, I'm going to give my game ball to the old man. And also, Mike, he did get he got tackled pretty hard by our left tackle. A guy supposed to be keeping him off the ground, puts him on the ground, Mike. And again, for these silly reasons, this is why Mr. Rodgers gets the game ball in my neighborhood today. Mike, Aaron Rodgers is my game ball.
Yep, I think that's very much deserving right there.
A couple things, Mike, and we are going to start getting ready for the trivia question of the day. How well do you know your how well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? This is going to be a wrap-up Cincinnati Bengal question, Mike, as we do have the extra day. And then next week we get into Green Bay. These few things that we are going to talk about real quick, though, before we get there, Mike, college football, the Pitt Panthers, they get back at it tomorrow after their big upset win in Florida State last week. Mike, they will be going to Syracuse tomorrow to play the Orange. That game is at 7:30. If you like the other team from Pennsylvania, the Penn State Nittany Lions, they'll be traveling to Ohio to play a team that dresses a lot like our Pittsburgh Steelers and those Hawkeyes. Mike, that game is a 7 o'clock game in Iowa tomorrow.
Did you just say they traveled to Ohio to play a team in Iowa?
I thought I said Iowa, but if
you're good, bro. You're good.
if I misspoke, I
I'm
apologize.
messing with you,
I think whenever I said the black and yellow team from whatever, I do got to move on. Also, Mike, the other football team here in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, our soccer team, of course, they're back at it tomorrow. They'll be traveling to Monterey Bay. That game is at 10 o'clock p.m. Also, the Penguins get a win last night. Mike, they beat the Kings 4-2, improved their record to 3-2 overall. They are back at it tomorrow in their California trip as they play the San Jose Sharks tomorrow, also at 10 o'clock start. And finally, Mike, they are down to the Final Four, and they're working on getting a World Series set up in the majors. The Toronto Blue Jays and Seattle Mariners. Mariners looking for their first appearance ever in the World Series. That series is tied 2 games apiece. Game 5 is today with a 6:08 start time. And finally, Mike, the LA Dodgers looking to sweep the Milwaukee Brewers to represent the National League in this year's World Series. The Dodgers up 3-0. Game 4 for them is 8:38 this evening.
Come on, Brew Crew. We're headed off 4 in a row.
And
I want you to win so bad.
And I do want to say real quick, Mike, before we do get into the website, the Steelers are home dogs, 3.5 point underdogs as of right now for the game 10 days from now against the Packers at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday night of next weekend. The Steelers are already 3.5 point underdogs. Mike, with that being said, why don't you go tell everybody about the website?
The2Yinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. We got our merch store over there. Buy your derpy shirts. You can buy your 9 and 8 standard. It's the standard t-shirt as well. It's very fitting for what happened today. We got, what else do we have? Oh, Manila Thunder's Dumb Thoughts. So check it out at the2Yinzers.com.
All right, guys, time to get into this trivia question of the day. How well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? This is going to be the wrap-up question for the Bengals. We're going to get to Green Bay next week, so it's not going to be Bart Starr, Mike.
Oh, damn it.
It's going to be a Bengals question, so focus. Here we go. Because we did lose, this is the direction the question goes. What's the largest amount of points the Bengals ever beat the Steelers by? What is the largest amount of points the Bengals ever beat the Steelers by? Not the total points scored.
Yeah.
But
the margin.
The margin they won by. Think that over for a minute, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 11:30 to 12:30, 1:30. You know how it goes. Sometimes it gets unpredictable. But, guys, you can check us out every day right here on the Tube.
On Tube.
All right, Mike. So what is the answer? What's your thought process? I know I noticed you're over there pointing and playing games and not thinking, but what do you think that the what is your thought process? Richard is saying 23.
Ooh, see, I was going to say like 20 to 21. There had to have been a game where we just totally shit the bed at some year.
Okay.
What
is the largest amount of points the Bengals has ever beat the Steelers by? Last night it was 2, but what's the largest amount?
Let's go 20.
20 points, 20-point loss to the Bengals, you're saying is what the answer would be. Yeah. Mike, is this your final answer?
Yeah, because if the Browns beat us one year, like 55 to whatever, the Bengals have had to do that to us at one point.
All right, Tyrone is saying 35, so I'm going to lock you in, Mike. There we go. Again, guys, the question of the day, what's the largest amount of points the Bengals ever beat the Pittsburgh Steelers by? Mike, it was a game that the final count was 42-7, and Tyrone did know that. It was a 35-point difference. That is the most that the Bengals ever beat us by, was a 35-point differential.
Wow.
Yeah. And also being said, Mike, if you look at these standings, the Steelers are now have the best defense in the league or in the AFC North. Also, Mike, they moved up there a little bit here on as far as the offense goes as well. Let me just pull it up real quick, just to talk about it for a moment, to the AFC right here. Mike, the Steelers have the best offense and the best defense by points for and points against in our division, passing the Ravens, the Bengals, everybody else. Mike, we've let up 140 points. As bad as these 30-point loss, the 30 points we've been giving up in these losses, we've given up 140 points on the season, which is the lowest in our division. Everybody's played 6 games with the exception of the Bengals. They played 7. We've given up 140, which is the best in our division. Mike, we've scored 150, which is best in our division. Again, better than Baltimore's 144, same amount of games played. Do what you want with that, guys. We're still in good shape. We all got a little shock and awe, if you will, by what happened last night. You didn't think this loss was coming, Mike. Everybody was pretty comfortable we were going to win, although it happens any given weekend. So here we are, still in good position, still in good shape. Now we got to figure out how to rebound, how we react from here, and how we get ready for the Green Bay Packers in 10 days, guys. So we're going to do our best, try to figure it out. Mike, before we do get ready to take off, I do want to say some things here. If you haven't had a chance, stop by and visit any of our social media sites. Our pages. We are on Facebook. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Swing by, hit the follow button, and keep up with what the Two Dumb Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. Also, if you haven't had a chance yet, below, hit the like, hit the sub, share, and even leave a comment if you will. It helps us out. We appreciate it greatly. Finally, if you enjoyed your Duquesne Pilsner last night while watching the game, do make sure you grab some more for the weekend for the rest of the football action going on. The guys over at Duquesne Pilsner right here in Pittsburgh, always giving some love to the Two Dumb Yinzers show. Maybe swing by, give them some love back, hit the like button for them guys, and stop by and grab yourself a case of Duquesne Pilsner for yourself and friends for your football all weekend long, guys. Go check it out, Mike. Right here, made in Pittsburgh, as it says, grab yourself a Duke. It says it right on the can. Grab yourself a Duke. We always got Duquesne Pilsner here at the studio. What else do we got, Mike? The Ravens are off. The Ravens are off this weekend, so we don't have to worry about them. The Bengals are done. So, again, I don't know. Real quick, pull up with the Browns or who they're playing, Mike. I think who they play, Miami or something like this.
Browns play Miami.
So that's what's going on in the division. We'll be back Monday at our regular time to talk about all the action that goes on throughout the weekend. We'll talk more about the game that we just watched last night and more about the game that we're going to be watching next weekend. So much stuff to talk about, Mike. And it is the throwback weekend. Next Friday, we have something special planned here on the show. We hope that you join us then. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out with us today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to everybody, especially on the terrible board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. You never let us down. I got to be honest with you. And I do want to say thank you to everybody all together, guys. Anybody at home, whether you're maybe in the gym, maybe you're in your car, got earbuds in, whatever the case may be, thank you too. We'll be back again, like I said, Monday at our regular time. We hope everybody has a great, safe weekend. Weather's starting to go down a little bit, man, and it's turning into winter. It's football weather. You know, people are starting to complain, especially here in Western PA, but it's football weather. That's what I always say as we get ready to head into this time of year. Let me just double check, make sure I'm not forgetting anything on my end, Mike. I am not. Anything before we get ready to close up for the day?
No, man, this was fun. Even
though take an L every once in a while, right? I forget who said
I
on the
love
board,
being chippy, especially with Steele. I love being chippy. He's so much fun to be chippy with because he fires it right back. I love it. Absolutely. It's like arguing with like your brothers.
I do want to say I don't want to miss anybody here on the board. I'm going to grab a couple of these real quick, Mike, and we're going to go. I promise. Clemens Prod, I do want to say welcome back. I do remember that name. Welcome back to the show. Always great seeing you on the board. He said, do any Yinzers blame Pat for not taking a kneel around the red zone instead of running it? I thought of that as it was happening. I thought this timing is going to be effed up. But yeah.
I'm the opposite. My philosophy is score the points when you can because you never know when you have the chance to get them again. But I agree. I understand the thought by it, but for me, never leave points on the field. And to me,
it's all about you got to play smart too, though. If it was further out, you're thinking different. But if he got, if you're inside the 5-yard line and you could get down and you still got significant time, you got to play smart football. But anyway, good point by both of you. Also, let me grab these last couple. Here, Tyrone says, what makes me mad is defense saves are asked for years, but now got quarterback bring all these guys to be. Now we got quarterback bringing all these guys to be Swiss cheese. Tyrone says, no matter win or lose, we all bleed black and cold. That's right, baby. That's at the end of the day. That's what we do. Phil Steele says, cheer. Cheers, fellas. Teflon Dawn sucks. Thomas says, reminder, Russ threw for 414 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bengals that first game last year. So that is good to keep in mind. Thank you for that reminder. Tyrone says, only reason I know, my dad taught me hello about the history. And finally, Christopher says, misery loves company. You guys are the best. Steelers therapy session on YouTube. We appreciate that, Christopher. You guys do that for us as well, believe me. I do want to say thank you so much again, everybody. I hope everybody has a great week. We'll survive. We're still in good position. We're still 4-2. We're still in first place. We're still number 3 in the AFC. So we're not playing from behind the 8 ball like we certainly can be. And there's a lot of teams that are in the worst situation. We'll take it, guys. We weren't going to win the rest of our games. So let's get ready for Green Bay. Again, we'll be back Monday at our regular time to start getting ready for that and getting prepared for that. So we hope to see everybody then. Mike, one more time. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Anything else?
No, man. See you all Monday.
Absolutely, guys. Have a
Good
safe
weekend.
Great weekend. Enjoy your football, college and pros, guys. And we'll get back at it Monday morning. We hope to see everybody then. I think that's it for me. I think that's it for Michael. Everybody, for Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two dumb Yinzers, have a great, safe weekend, please. And we'll see everybody back on Monday. Bye-bye.